Game 1 today. SMS starter Brad Ziegler limited the Huskers through 6 innings to just 5 hits and 1 earned run, showing great dominance on the mound. Then Ziegler turned it over to his closer, Sean Markham, and Markham and the Bears defense closed out the Huskers. Can Nebraska keep their season alive? Find out next. Matt Daga sends it deep to right. Look at the dive by Rebels to keep it going.
Smacks this one, this could go.
Hey, there's no mercy in this sport.
Morris slices it towards the gap as it's all the way to the wall. NETV Sports, Nebraska's home for sports, is live from Hawks Field at Haymarket Park in Lincoln, Nebraska for the 2003 NCAA Baseball Regionals. Tonight, in an elimination game, it's the 9th-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Hi again, everybody. I'm Kevin Kugler, and welcome to Hawks Field, Haymarket Park in Lincoln, Nebraska. Conflicting emotions between the two teams tonight. Eastern Michigan flying high after knocking off the number 2 seed Coastal Carolina earlier today. Nebraska, the number 1 seed, trying to rebound from a very difficult loss just an hour and a half ago to SMS. We'll see how both of those teams handle their roles tonight as we get set for this elimination game. Adrian Fiala is with me, and Adrian, what does Mike Anderson do with this Nebraska baseball bunch? An hour and a half after a very disappointing loss, how does he get them geared up again?
You know what, Kevin, that's a very important part of this whole thing right now, the emotional side of what's going on the Nebraska bench, and they really have to step up and get it done. Zach Kroenke will pitch for the Huskers tonight. He will have a large part in seeing what happens as far as this ball game goes. He will have to be on to make sure that he stops the ball bats of Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan has a great hitting baseball team. They want respect. They've gained some respect in this regional tournament thus far. It'll be up to Kroenke and the Husker ball bats, because basically the Husker ball bats kind of went to sleep in that second game against SMS. They had a lot of hits against Eastern Michigan the first game, 20 hits. They need to come alive with the ball bats, Kevin.
Well, we had a pitcher's duel our last matchup between Nebraska and SMS. I don't know if I'd expect that here tonight.
No, I think both of these teams are out to hit the baseball and try to prove that they can score runs, they can hit the baseball, and each of these teams can do that. We saw that in that first game that they played. This is going to be a barn burner in terms of hitting the baseball. We'll wait and see.
Well, it should be a lot of runs scored, a lot of hits, and a lot of offensive action. So if that's your kind of baseball, you're in the right spot. Larry Putney standing by. As Adrian mentioned, Zach Kroenke will start tonight, and Larry's got more on that decision. Larry?
Well, guys, Zach Kroenke will go in replace of Jamie Rodriguez. Rodriguez originally scheduled to start the Huskers' 3rd game, but because Nebraska thinks they can score 20 runs, as Coach Rob Childress put it a bit ago to his team, they're going to go ahead and go with the freshman Kroenke and save Rodriguez for the first game tomorrow against hopefully a rematch with SMS.
Well, it'll be Nebraska and Eastern Michigan. The first pitch of this critical elimination game in the NCAA Regionals coming up in a moment. We head into the start of this elimination game, and one team is thrilled to be here. The other team is surprised to be here, and we'll set this game up for you in a moment. First, let's give you the forecast, and the weather currently 73 degrees. Supposed to be a very nice evening tonight. Partly cloudy skies, calm wind, humidity at 37%. You see the wind not affecting this game at all, as opposed to the shootout, the slugfest yesterday between these two teams when the wind was howling and the balls were howling over the fence. 16-11 the win for Nebraska over Eastern Michigan yesterday. Eastern Michigan, though, beating Coastal Carolina earlier today. They are here and ready to play tonight. They are the home team. Nebraska, the visitors once again, as they were earlier today against SMS. And the Eagles trying to get their crowd. There's the fans for the Eagles, a good contingent. We got a chance to chat with several of those folks earlier today. They're fired up about this game tonight, Abe.
They really are. They told us about their pitching because Roger Coryell, the head coach of Eastern Michigan, said we're going to have to pitch by committee from here on out. And one of their fans down there very freely said, hey, we got a lot of pitchers left on that bus, so don't worry about us, guys. Anyway, he said, I've got some eligibility left myself, so we'll see what happens. But Dale Hayes will be on the mound for Eastern Michigan. And they have really used up. They've gone deep into their pan in these first couple of games they've played, Kevin, and they've really used up a lot of their pitchers. So it will be tough for them to cope with the situation. But that's why we're here. That's why we play it, and that's why we get it done.
Well, let's give you the lineup for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now 45-17 on the year. Jeff Lizzie will lead it off. Joe Simikaitis batting second. Matt Hopper batting third. Alex Gordon will clean up. Curtis Ledbetter, the DH, bats fifth. Daniel Bruce, the right fielder, batting sixth. Brandon Fusilier batting seventh. Matt Wells will start behind the plate. He'll bat eighth. And Jake Mullinax batting ninth and playing second base for Nebraska. Defensively for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan, Tim Klaus at left, Ryan Arnett in center, Ryan Goleski in right, Derek Peterson at third, Brian Bixler at short, Tony Palazzolo at second, Ryan Ford at first, Brent Olivier behind the plate, and on the hill, a man we've already seen in this regional in Lincoln, the right-handed pitcher, a senior from Westland, Michigan, Dale Hayes.
There he is, 6'4", 290 pounds. You talked about his hometown there at Westland, Kevin, and he was a MAC All-Tournament team this year. Did a good job against Miami University. Pitched 8 innings, gave up 8 hits, just 3 runs, and he had a season-high 7 strikeouts in that fracas. So he's ready to go. Like you said, we saw him yesterday, and it's a matter of a couple of innings, and he should be all right for a while, but we'll see how it works out here.
Earlier today, we talked with Roger Coryell about his starter, Dale Hayes.
Well, Dale Hayes, senior right-hander, has had his ups and downs. Beat Florida Atlantic, beat Miami in the conference tournament. He's on. He'll have a variety of pitches, fast curve change, and a cutter. So hopefully he's on today.
Dale Hayes, they'd like to see him use as many innings as they could. Zach Cronic. Nebraska does have an advantage in that they have 5 guys with starting experience. Jamie Rodriguez, Larry told you, is going to start Nebraska's 3rd game. They thought that 3rd game would be tomorrow in the regional championship. Instead, it's tonight. So Zach Cronic, the freshman, gets to start for Nebraska. The umpires, Darrell Mason behind the plate, Tim Clockman at first, Kevin Gilmore at second, and Ken Grackner at third. And we're ready to play baseball in an elimination game. First time since 1999 that Nebraska has lost a game in a regional. That one on the road in Columbus, Ohio. This time Nebraska on their home field. A rare loss here at Hawks Field.
Trying to come back through the bracket. Certainly can be done. Been done before a number of times. Huskers can do that as Lysy squares. And he was 0 for 5 in that first ball game this afternoon, Kevin, and he's a key to this team. He needs to get his base hits. He needs to lead this team. He needs to get on base. Jeff Lysy.
0-1 on Lysy. Hayes with the 0-1 pitch. 1-1 the count. And Jeff Lysy trying to get things going again. He's been in a little bit of a slump over the last couple of weeks. Lysy, the guy you normally expect, when he gets on, good things usually happen for Nebraska. And he is the key really for the rest of this regional, however long it might go. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1-2 the count on Jeff Lysy.
Well, in the Big 12 tournament, he was 5 for 19. Jeff Lysy is a good pitch right there. Sinks a little bit, Dale Hayes. But Lysy 5 for 19 in the tournament. Fouls that one right straight down. 2 for 6 against Eastern Michigan yesterday, but 0 for 5 against SMS this afternoon. But, he's the hitter. You need to have him hit. You need to have him on base. But also, Kevin, there's that intangible there, that leadership, that captain idea that he has. Just to being a leader, he needs to move this team along.
Fouls it away again, and it stays at 1-2. Fouled it off his foot. He'll walk that one off. If you happen to be in the area of eastern Nebraska, specifically Lincoln, there are plenty of seats available on the berms tonight if you want to come down and watch Nebraska play on a great night for baseball in Lincoln. Some of the folks that were there packing in the record crowd earlier today, they have headed for greener pastures. In fact, some of them may be joining us here on the telecast, but there's plenty of room for you, so come on down and check out Nebraska baseball if you want to bring the kids down and let them run around on the berms. Plenty of room. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lysy. And it's low for a ball. 2-2 the count.
A lot of deliberate motion by Dale Hayes out there on the mound, as we mentioned a moment ago. We saw him here yesterday. 2/3 of an inning against the Huskers, and again, that very deliberate motion. You have to pace your swing, time it. A lot of times the guy gets into a fast rhythm. That kind of helps you out a little bit as a hitter, but when you have a guy that slows it down out there, you have a tendency maybe to slow down yourself visually. And so you have to pace yourself well. And this is quite an at-bat here to start the game for Jeff Lysy.
Continually fighting off pitches. Breaking pitch just missing, and it's 3-2. So Lysy has worked the count full. He's forced Hayes to throw a lot of pitches, and that's a good thing with a short staff that Eastern Michigan has.
So on the 25th of May, he pitched against Miami University in the MAC tournament.
On the ground, chopper towards short. Bixler up, the throw across in time. One down in the Husker first.
With the 25th, Dale Hayes pitched 8 innings. Talked about that a moment ago. And then the 2/3 of an inning yesterday, and that's been it. So he should be okay, Kevin, for a while. That 25th, what, 5 days ago, 6 days ago? Should be all right to go. Big strapping 6'4", 200-pounder. That shouldn't bother him a whole lot.
They'd love to see him go deep into this game. Joe Simakaitis, the hitter, 295 on the year. And the first offering to Joe, breaking ball, strike one. The longer Eastern Michigan's pitching holds down Nebraska in this game, the more confidence this bunch will already have. And they're a pretty confident bunch coming in right now. Nebraska, meanwhile, is trying to figure out an offensive approach. They struggled in the Big 12 tournament offensively. Thought they'd broken out of it yesterday with Eastern Michigan, but back to their old ways against SMS earlier today. And the 0-1. 1-1 the count on Joe Simakaitis. 2-1 rather on Joe Simakaitis. Matt Hopper waiting on deck. Curveball, smoke towards left. Klaus is there, though, has plenty of room, and he'll make the catch for the second out. 2 up, 2 down in the Husker first, and Matt Hopper the batter.
The first baseman, number 16.
Ball hit fairly well by Joe Simakaitis, but it just seemed to just deaden in the air. Virtually no breeze here thus far at Hawks Field. But that ball looked like it was maybe going to travel a little bit further, Kevin, than what it really did. Just died up there and made it really an easy play for Klaus.
Hopper waits. Matt got Nebraska going yesterday in the first inning after the first 2 were retired against Eastern Michigan. He lined a homer to left, and that started the hit parade for the Huskers. The 1-0 to Hopper. Strike one on the outside corner, 1-1 the count.
Here's the fastball outside corner, dropping back in there. Just nicking that outside corner. Pretty good pitch by Hayes right there. Tried it again right there and didn't succeed hitting the black of the plate. That little black strip around the edge. A lot of times an ump will give that to you.
2 balls, 1 strike as time is called. Matt Hopper, career .314 hitter in NCAA tournament play. Rough game last game, trying to rebound here. Chopped on the ground, slow roller up third base side. Peterson had to try to barehand it and couldn't. Hopper will have an infield hit.
It's the only way that Derek Peterson can make that play, just to come up barehanded. Try to snag it right away. You don't have much time. You've got to be very sure with the open hand is that's going to beat it right in the ground right there. And then he just ducks that head, turns and goes to first base and don't look back. And Peterson just basically ran right over the baseball.
So Hopper on with a 2-out single, and now Alex Gordon with a try against Dale Hayes. 2 down, top of the first, and Gordon down the line, fair ball. Matt Hopper around second, on his way to third. Mike Anderson watching the play. He'll wave him home. Hopper stumbles, and now they'll hold him up. He was going to send him, and then Hopper stumbled around third, and that's where he'll stay. 2-out double for Gordon, and Nebraska with runners at second and third.
Well, the first ball game against Eastern Michigan, Alex Gordon was 1 for 5. Earlier on today, just 1 for 4 against SMS. He starts it out right here. Ball just creeps inside the line, going down that right field line, fair inside the bag. And the Huskers very quickly with 2 outs here in the first inning have runners at second and third. Now they had opportunities in the game before this afternoon and didn't cash those in the 7th and 8th inning. They're going to be successful here this evening. They need to do that.
Curtis Ledbetter, .354 hitter, 12 homers, 49 RBI. Ledbetter looking for a hit here, would plate 2 runs. Outside corner, strike 1. Hayes hit the target set up by Olivier, and Ledbetter down on the count, 0-1.
Elastic zone right there, but it is a strike. You know that when Daryl Mason is behind the plate, a little elastic on the zone now. you've got to cover that and maybe move up just a little bit. That ball is pretty close to the same spot right there, but it's a ball this time. But that's just an umpire's tendency. So you learn those tendencies, you adjust, and you move from there.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down in the top of the first inning. Nebraska, the visiting team again in this elimination game. And the 1-1. Big cut, but it came up empty, 1-2.
Curtis was looking to go right there, Kevin. I want to tell you, watch this here. Tail in on him just a little bit, but his head is up and out, you see. You keep that head down. I used to hear that so much from my coach. Keep your head down. Big guys like to swing big, and that head sometimes goes right up.
Hayes trying to get out of a jam. The 1-2. 2-2 now on Ledbetter.
But that's indeed why the Huskers have hit so well here the last few years. Mike Anderson, the hitting coach, working strongly. There he is. Mike Anderson, the head coach. Big 12 Coach of the Year this year in his first year. Great job. But fundamentally, you work on those things, and he really does. He works the guys very hard on those things, and they respond.
3-2 now on Ledbetter. 2 down in the inning. No score, top of the first. Hayes has thrown a lot of pitches in this first inning. And Ledbetter would like to make him pay for this 2-out jam. Time is called. Bruce waiting on deck if Ledbetter keeps it alive. And now time again as Hayes steps off the rubber. Matt Hopper at third, Alex Gordon at second. 3 balls, 2 strikes on the hitter Curtis Ledbetter. And a wave and a miss, strike 3. Hayes gets out of a jam in the top of the first. So Nebraska leaves 2 on and wastes a golden opportunity to get out in front of Eastern Michigan here in the first inning.
Excellent pitch right there, outside corner. Curtis just not able to catch up to it. Somehow he misses that baseball. That's his pitch right there to hit.
So Nebraska comes up empty in the top of the first, and now the Eagles of Eastern Michigan will get their chance to take some swings here in the bottom of the inning against Zach Kroenke. There's a look at Curtis Ledbetter as he's obviously not happy with the results of that last at-bat.
Especially, Kevin, in that first game against Eastern Michigan, he was 4 for 5 on the afternoon after laying out of the Big 12 tournament with that injury.
Let's take a look at the lineup for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan. 33-27 on the year. Brian Bixler will lead it off. Tony Palazzolo batting second. Derek Peterson bats third. Ryan Gillespie, a cleanup hitter, and what a cleanup hitter he is. Brent Olivier bats fifth. Ryan Ford batting sixth. Luke Beeler bats seventh. Ryan Arnett batting eighth, and Tim Klaus will bat ninth. Defensively for Nebraska in the outfield, left to right, it'll be Brandon Fusilier, Jeff Lizey, and Daniel Bruce. Alex Gordon at third, Joe Simakaitis at short, Jake Mullinax at second, Matt Hopper at first, Matt Wells behind the plate, and on the hill, the left-handed true freshman, Zach Kroenke.
From Omaha Northwest, to get his licks in here this evening. You see the current numbers there, 3.02 in the ERA department. Excellent there with that 5-2 record. Opponents just hitting .242 against him this year. So Zach Kroenke, 6'2", 180. First team All Nebraska in his last year at Northwest. Led the state in strikeouts with 90 in 53 innings. He'll top out somewhere around 91. Very good curveball. Excellent slider. Maybe throw a few changes in there, but Rob Childress told us earlier this year that Zach is a guy that's still learning how to pitch, doing well in that regard.
Mike Anderson spoke earlier today about his freshman left-hander.
Zach's a left-hander, fastball, changeup, curveball. Needs to get first pitch over for strike, and he'll be effective.
We'll see how he does about the first pitch over for a strike. That's the key.
Childress said earlier also that he has really improved from the beginning of the year till now, and you can really see it. It's just the way he performs, the way he handles himself, his poise on the mound. So again, a vast improvement, a lot of improvement from beginning of the season till now.
First pitch swinging, line to right field. Over there, Daniel Bruce to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out as Bixler chases the first pitch he sees and lines it out to right field.
The second baseman, number 17, Tony Palazzolo.
Kroenke on the outside part of the plate. Bixler takes it where he should, as we talk about. We hit the opposite field, but Daniel Bruce perfectly placed out there in right field. He has been a workhorse out there in right field, just doing a great job defensively for the Huskers.
On a bunt attempt, Palazzolo pushes it. Nobody covering the bag. Kroenke cannot get over in time, and it's an infield hit. Gloved by Hopper, but Kroenke not there at first base in time, and it'll be an infield hit for Palazzolo.
Extremely well placed, handling the bat very well. Get it by the pitcher, make that first baseman handle it, and then it's just too late for either the pitcher, Kroenke, or the second baseman, Mullinex, to get over and help. And really, on that play, Kroenke's got to break immediately and get over to the bag and try to cover it to record the out.
1 on, 1 out. And Derek Peterson looks at a pitch down low for a ball. Good stop by Wells to keep Palazzolo at first base. Zach Kroenke, the freshman, pitching for Nebraska, 5-2 on the year, a 3.02 earned run average. Snap throw over and back in is Palazzolo. Waiting on deck, maybe the best hitter we've seen in this whole regional, Ryan Gillespie. And the 1-0. He gets away from Wells this time. Skitters away. He'll try to throw down there and not in time. Palazzolo sneaking in on the wild pitch.
First game of the tournament for Matt Wells, and the ball bounces down, and you saw that head go up there. You need to slide a little bit. He did not. So he's really a good defensive catcher. He and John Gross are excellent defensive catchers. That time the head went up a little bit. He didn't slide as much as he normally would. And then the ball bounds away. Runner down at second.
The 2-0 inside for ball 3. Boy, about the last thing you want to do is put guys on in front of Gillespie, who waits on deck already with 3 homers in the regional.
Yeah, he is a load, as we talked about yesterday, Kevin. He's a ball player. Definitely a top drawer ball player.
The 3-0 to Peterson. Ball 4, he lost him. First and second, nobody out. And here comes Ryan Gillespie.
Yesterday in the 7th inning, first 2 hitters walked, and Gillespie came up and he promptly popped one out over the right field fence. So you don't want to hurt your cause by putting people on base. How many times do we say that in the course of a ball game? Probably every time we do a game. So true, though. This guy can do it to you.
You see the power numbers, 17 homers. He's got a big leaguer's build. And the pitch from Kroenke is low for a ball. 1-0 the count.
You know, we were down there on the field before the game and standing next to this guy, and he is a good-sized young man all the way around. 6'3", 225. And he's packed in there all the way. There's not an ounce of what I got all over me.
Here comes Rob Childress. He wants to talk with Zach Kroenke. Nebraska, obviously, neither one of these teams can be particularly patient with any of their pitchers today. In this game, 1 run could mean the difference, and so Nebraska, with that in mind, will already send some activity down to the bullpen. Steve Hale will make his way down to the pen and start warming up for the Big Red. There goes Hale. Chad Steele. Nebraska with runners at first and second here, given it to Eastern Michigan in this first inning. 1 down, bottom of the first. And
you see Rob Childress right there trying to educate Zach and getting after him a little bit, saying, come on, Zach, you're better than this. You know how to pitch. And that's not a look you want to see in your coach's face right there. So let's see how Zach responds here. You have to keep in mind, Zach is a freshman. And keep in mind also the comments we said earlier about Rob's response to the question about Zach learning the game, still learning how to pitch. But again, doing very, very well this year for a freshman.
1 ball, no strikes. Ryan Gillespie waits. Inside corner, but low. 2-0 on Gillespie. Brent Olivier waits on deck. And the Eagles are thinking big inning here. 2 balls, no strikes. Runners at first and second and 1 out.
Mistake you make here with this guy now is you groove one, or at least you. Yeah, see, he was thinking that too. Gillespie was thinking that all the way. 2-0. This youngster's going to groove one to throw a strike. He threw a strike, but it was kind of down and out, down on that lower part of the plate. But he was looking for it right there.
Fifth inning score from Auburn, where Auburn leads Clemson 11-0 in an elimination game there. The winner will play Ohio State in that regional championship. 2 balls, 1 strike. Off speed is high for ball 3. 3-1 now on Ryan Gillespie, and Zach Kroenke struggling early.
Indeed, and again, you don't want to make a mistake down with Gillespie at the plate. He's a big guy. He can hurt you with 1 cut. You groove 1 here. Be careful around the plate.
That went through the hole into left field. 1 run will come around. The throw towards the plate. No, they'll hold him up. They were waving him home, and then all of a sudden the brakes were put on. Palazzolo will not come in to score, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
And even though Gillespie got the base hit, that was a pretty good pitch. Watch it here. Low and inside. This guy could hit. He's just a tremendous hitter. But Gillespie just promptly puts that into left field, but it's in the park and no run score. So now you've got a chance here. There's 1 out in the inning. You've got the Eastern Michigan catcher up, Brent Olivier. You got a chance here if you get a ground ball. That's what the Huskers are looking to do in the infield here.
Surprisingly, though, Olivier has not hit into a double play all year long. And the throw back to second, trying to catch Peterson napping. 1 out, bottom of the first, and Eastern Michigan with a huge threat. Bases are loaded. Brent Olivier. And the first pitch to Olivier, fouled back. 0-1 to count on Olivier.
Olivier came in late in the game yesterday. Relieved Brad Horvat behind the plate. 0 for 2 in the ballgame.
1 out, bases loaded. The 0-1 from Kroenke. Chopped right in front of the plate. Wells will tag the runner, and he's out. Huge break for Nebraska as Wells is able to grab it. Palazzolo out at the plate, and the inning gets a little better looking for Nebraska and Zach Kroenke.
Very alert play by Wells, and we talk about every sport having a game of inches or being a game of inches. This ball's out there just a little bit further, and it's probably a run for Eastern Michigan, but Wells is out there very quickly, pounces on the ball, cuts the runner off as he comes down the line, and records the out. So fortunate turn right there for Nebraska.
Now 2 down, and the left-handed hitting Ryan Ford up, and he takes a strike. 0-1 on Ford, a .329 hitter on the year, 2 homers, 29 RBI. Bases still loaded, now 2 down in the inning. And the 0-1. Chopped on the ground, foul, and Kroenke a strike away from getting out of a huge jam in the first.
Battling back is Zach Kroenke. In the driver's seat on this hitter right now. Ford yesterday 2 for 5. And Kroenke staring down now.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Fouled away.
See, that was a good pitch also because he got that ball up and away, and he got the hitter Ryan Ford to go after it, Kevin. And an 0-2 pitch out of the zone, up and away of the left-hander. Well done by Kroenke.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bases full of Eagles. Fouled away again. Ford fighting to stay alive. Kroenke looks in for the sign. 0-2 the count on Ryan Ford. Bases loaded. Bottom of the first. Outside corner. Ball 1.
Crowd wanted the strike there, but it was outside. Outside maybe 3-4 inches.
1 ball, 2 strikes now on Ford. And he's out. Strike 3, and Nebraska's out of the inning. The bases are left loaded at the end of 1. No score. Well, a big job of pitching done by Zach Kroenke in the bottom of the first inning to get out of a jam. No score at the end of one here in Lincoln, and Nebraska will bring up their number 6, 7, and 8 hitters here in the second. Let's look at the dimensions of Hawks Field. 335 to left, 403 to left center, 395 to straightaway center, 400 to right center, and 325 down that right field line. Got the chance to look over during the break in between games some of the emails we've received already. We've asked for your feedback on our baseball broadcast throughout the past several years, and you can shoot those, by the way, to netvsports@unl.edu. Jeremiah says, the only thing I have to say about the UNL baseball broadcast is why are there so few? Keep up the good work and do some UNK games now and again. And Becky sends an email that says, just wanted to let you know I'm enjoying the game today as it's being televised. I've watched all of the baseball games, and I'm thankful that you've chosen to televise them. Great job. And send your feedback, pro or con, to the address on your screen or netvsports@unl.edu. We love to hear from all of you. We read them all, and we certainly take notes on every one of them.
Absolutely. We thank you for responding, whichever way it may be. Thanks for staying in contact. And, Kevin, we'll try to respond to some of these folks.
Absolutely.
You bet. Looking forward to that.
1 ball and 1 strike on Daniel Bruce, the leadoff man here in the second. Bruce, Fusilier, and Wells. 6, 7, and 8 for Nebraska against Dale Hayes. Fouled back, 1 and 2. Daniel Bruce, who, as Adrian's mentioned, is kind of a target for getting plunked. He's been hit now 41 times. He was hit in the back earlier today in the SMS game. He is Nebraska's career record holder in hit by pitch.
That left elbow still appears to be the right color. I thought black and blue today as he's jammed again. Maybe a play this time for Olivier. Nope. But yesterday hit twice on that front elbow. But I didn't see any discoloration of any kind, so this guy might have a steel arm over there. There it is, that front elbow.
Nothing on there except skin.
Little suntan.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Daniel Bruce. Sprays it down the right field line. It'll go foul. 1 and 2 the count will remain.
Daniel 2 for 3 against this bunch in the first game yesterday with 3 RBIs. Got a home run involved in that. This afternoon against SMS 0 for 3. So he's looking to pick up the pace again. You want to get every game, at least get that 1 base hit and try to wrap up 2 or 3 more into it.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Bruce. 2 and 2 now. Daniel, a great wide receiver at Millard West High School in Omaha. A baseball player, of course, but he was just an all-around very good athlete. The 2-2 kept alive as he fouls it away.
And a great student to go with it, Kevin. 3.8 GPA, top 10% of his class. Received one of the Omaha's top scholar athlete awards. Did a great job in the classroom. Came down here making his mark in Nebraska baseball, just a sophomore.
Here comes the 2-2. Fouls it off again. Hayes has been working here through the first inning plus. Had a long inning in the first, threw a lot of pitches. And really Daniel Bruce making him work here again to start the second. Two balls, 2 strikes. Low for ball 3. Good at bat here by Daniel Bruce as he has really battled Dale Hayes.
Making Dale Hayes work. Mike Anderson wants Daniel Bruce to make Dale Hayes work some more as he battles up there.
Wave and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout by Hayes, and Bruce is out number 1 in the second.
Breaking pitch going down and away. And Daniel went for it. Virtually no chance to hit that baseball. Out number 1.
Brandon Fusilier, who saw his first action of the regional in game 1 today against SMS. He will stand in, looks at a breaking pitch in there for strike one.
Fusilier from Coppell, Texas. High school ball there in Coppell. Also played at Navarro Community College. He'll put a good charge into the baseball. Good size, 6'3", 215 pounds. At Navarro, he was a conference MVP. Two-time all-conference player.
The 1-1 to Fusilier, down low for a ball. 2-1 the count on Nebraska's number 7 hitter, playing in left field here this evening. He played in the first game against SMS, and he was the DH in that game. Curtis Ledbetter and Brandon Fusilier switching defensive positions here in this game. The 2-1. 3-1 now on Fusilier.
Hits with good power, has 6 home runs for the Huskers this year. And junior college, those 2 years he played at Navarro, 24 home runs in his 2-year career there.
3-1 pitch. Chopped foul, and it's full again, 3-2.
Ball sinking right there, just at the top, about the top fourth of it. Straight down into the ground. But again, that breaking pitch, tough to stay with it sometimes. Is ball coming in again, and they're trying to break
Strike 3
the pitch.
looking. Third straight strikeout for Dale Hayes, and Fusilier heads back to the dugout.
One more time. Breaking pitch, dropping down just a little bit, and he had Fusilier fooled on the pitch. Basically, what happened there.
That was a good looking pitch. Fusilier looked back at the umpire for a moment,
Just
but
locked him up a little bit.
So strikeout number 3 on the night for Dale Hayes, and Matt Wells up with nobody on and 2 out in the top of the second. 204 hitter on the year. Matt Wells, 5 homers, 16 RBI.
Making his first appearance in regional tournament play for the Huskers. Sophomore out of Littleton, Colorado.
And Wells sends that one high in the air to left. Tim Klaus going back, still going back on the track, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down for Nebraska in the second. No score in Lincoln.
No score at Hawksfield Haymarket Park between the Huskers and the Eagles. And joining me now is Brent Kroenke, the father of Zach Kroenke. And I was going to ask you how you think Zach's doing, but after that first inning, maybe I should ask how you were doing.
I'm a little nervous. It'd be a lot easier if you just make it 1, 2, 3. It's tough when he struggles a little bit like that.
But for a freshman, he's done remarkably well this year and probably exceeded yours and even his expectations.
Yeah, he has. Our hopes were that he might throw 20, 25 innings, and he's going to throw quite a bit more than that. So, yeah, we feel like it's been a pretty good year.
Here he is in a regional elimination game.
I didn't hear you.
I said here he is in a regional elimination game.
Yeah, it's just all the more pressure on me and him.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, Dad, he's not only throwing 25, he's throwing 50. So as far as innings pitched, he's throwing a lot for a freshman. So good to see that happen.
Zach Kroenke will face the lower third of the order for the Eagles. Luke Beeler, Ryan Arnett, and Tim Klaus. And the pitch high for a ball. 1-0 the count on Beeler. Bullpen was active for Nebraska in the first inning, as Kroenke got into trouble, but he got himself out of trouble with a couple of big pitches made, and he stays in there here for the second. 1-1 the count on Beeler.
The 50 innings pitched by Zach Kroenke, the third highest on the ball club for the Huskers.
1-1, low for a ball. 2-1 the count on Luke Beeler, a .289 hitter, the team captain, senior from Lakewood, Ohio. Hit .308 a year ago. Average down a little bit this year. Power numbers down a bit as well. Beeler sends that one deep towards right field. Daniel Bruce is out there just to step onto the track, makes the catch for the out.
Beeler take that one well. Daniel Bruce catches up to it in the gap out there. Good extension on the swing on the hit, and hit it well. Hit it just short of the fence out there, about 8 feet short of the fence, at about the 348 mark.
First pitch swinging. Ryan Arnett fouls it away. Arnett, the center fielder, .335 hitter, 12 homers, 44 RBI. Out of New Palestine, Indiana. He's a regular, the only Eagle to start every game this year. Durable and very, very good. At the bottom of that order, a little chopper to second. Mullinak's throw over in time for out number 2. And 4 in a row put down now by Zach Kroenke as he starts to get a little rhythm out there on the mound.
Well, a lot of spark comes when you have an inning, you close an inning like he did. Bases jammed and you strike out the hitter. That can spark the ball club pretty well, Kevin. And he's pitching like he has a little, just a little giddy up in the step there right now. Working quickly here in the second inning to retire the first 2 hitters, and now going after the number 9 hitter as he pops that one up.
Klaus's bunt goes 5 rows back into the stands.
Trying to push one down that first baseline. And that may be the longest right-handed drag bunt I've ever seen.
You don't usually get a souvenir on a bunt.
No, that's pretty tough to do. But old Timmy got the job done.
Klaus, we saw him yesterday. Good defensive left fielder. Good strong arm out there. He's down in the count, though. 0-2 to Zach Kroenke.
Wow, that was a tremendous pitch right there by Kroenke. Curveball, he started out of the zone, brings it back in, and it crosses the zone, and it indeed is a strike. Well done.
The 0-2. Fouls it away. Stays alive. 0-2 on Klaus. If he keeps it alive, back to the top of the order for Brian Bixler.
Yeah, that wide sweeping curveball that came in, tried to set him up then and bring that heat, bring that fastball by him. Klaus a little bit behind it. Drove it down that right field line in foul territory.
No balls, 2 strikes. Grounder at Mullinak's. Took a nice hop, throw to first in time, and Kroenke sends the Eagles down. 1-2-3 in the second. Through 2, no score. The 2003 NCAA Baseball Regional on NETV Sports is made possible in part by the financial contributors to Nebraskans for Public Television. You too can help support your statewide network and become a member of NPTV by calling toll-free 800-634-6788. You can also join NPTV over the internet. Log on to our network website at mynptv.org, click membership, and follow the prompts. If you're enjoying our coverage of Nebraska baseball's road to Omaha, join NPTV today. That road to Omaha hit a speed bump earlier today. A 4-2 loss to SMS has us in this elimination game tonight and has us with you as we start the top of the 3rd inning. Jake Mullinak's, Jeff Lizey, and Joe Simakaitis.
Well, Kevin, we were looking earlier over some of the results in regional play, and Florida State got tagged earlier today.
Auburn, the number 1 seed in their region and the number 4 national seed. They got beat. Georgia Tech, the number 3 national seed, they're done. Their season is over. They lost twice. 0-1 on Jake Mullinak's. Dale Hayes has pitched 2 solid innings and is out in front of Mullinak's. 0-2.
Can't do it much better than that. Good fastball tailing onto the inside of the plate. Good pitch by Dale Hayes. Boy, he's got a deliberate style out there.
Chopper on the ground. Fair ball. Long throw across for Peterson, and in time. He was about to call safe. Andy Sawyer's ready to argue over with Tim Clockerty. But he's out at first on a bang-bang play. And they've just tossed Andy Sawyers out of the game. Tim Clockerty has thrown Andy Sawyers out. Tim Clockerty, if you'll recall, was the umpire last game in the SMS game that missed the call on Dante Brinkley in center field. Said he dropped the ball when really he was pulling it out of his glove and shifting hands with it. He's had a rough day.
Had a problem there, and again, the body language, his arms were going out in that safe maneuver, but then at the last second he changed gears and went up with the hand. And Mike's still trying to find it out right there. But that'll cost Andy. Sometimes again, there are magic words in baseball.
Yeah.
We can't tell you what they are, but they are magic, and they'll get you launched right away. And apparently,
it's not flour.
One of those was uttered by Andy. There's Andy. He's.
Let's see if Andy was right or if Tim Clockerty was right. Let's watch it again. Good strong throw by Derek Peterson.
Great play by Peterson.
I think he got him. It's a bang play.
Yeah, I would think so too. And unfortunately, the umpire was not in the picture. Mike's going to go back to third base. He can ill afford to get lunch, so he's going to take his spot back there. Jake pounds it in the ground there, keeping that head down, digging as hard as he can.
Let's see here. Well, if it's a tie, the tie usually goes to the runner. So Andy Sawyers is done for the day. Brant Vlieger now out to coach at first base, and now one down in the third for Jeff Lisey. And the pitch from Hayes, a ball, 1-0 the count. 1 ball, no strikes.
Maybe Clockerty was trying to stretch his shirt out.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the part that really got the ire of Andy Sawyers. Is that one's chopped right at Ryan Ford. He'll tag the bag for the second out. The umpire started to make the move, it looked like, with the elbows to call safe, and then changed it and called out, and Andy Sawyers erupted, and, well, you know the rest of the story.
Well, once again, a lot of baseball left to play in this game, just in the third inning, and no scores. So, long ways to go yet. Just put that play behind you and try to move ahead, try to get base hits, get runners on. Do the things you've been doing all year to get you to the point where you won 45 games this year.
2 down, nobody on. Joe Simikaitis, the batter. Dale Hayes has settled down very nicely after he ran into some roughs go in the first inning. Has retired the last 6 men in a row.
He's got that fastball moving in on the right-handed hitter. And that one's a breaking pitch way to the outside, trying to set him up again. Joe Simikaitis had a tough Big 12 tournament, hit just 187 in the Big 12 tournament.
The 1-1 is low for a ball. 2-1 the count to Joe Simikaitis, who was recruited to play baseball at Florida and Missouri. Missouri football wanted him. Illinois football had some interest in him, but Joe decided to come to Nebraska and be a part of this Nebraska baseball program. Even in the count now at 2-2.
He was a tremendous athlete, Kevin, in high school. 12 letters, as we talked about before. Football, basketball, baseball. He was a quarterback, all-conference quarterback, 2-time all-conference quarterback, conference player of the year in football.
3-2 now on Simikaitis. Matt Hopper waits on deck. No score, top of the third inning. The winner moves on to tomorrow. The loser, their season is over tonight. 3-2. Simikaitis, a check swing, tipped off the glove, and Hayes cannot pick it up. Simikaitis will be safe. An error on Hayes, the pitcher, and Simikaitis reaches.
You take him any way you can get him in terms of base runners, and you'll take that. Just a little dribbler down that first base line, and Dale Hayes cannot find the handle. And Joe Simikaitis just hustling all the way. Check swing, actually. And now you think Hayes is going to have it right there. Nope, overruns the ball. Error on the pitcher. And Simikaitis is a base runner with 2 outs.
Matt Hopper, the batter. He singled in the first. Was left stranded at third. Throw over, Simikaitis back in. Joe caught stealing in the first game today. 9 for 15 on the base paths this year. Matt Hopper would love to put a charge in one and send it over that left field wall. Hopper smokes it right at the shortstop through his glove, and another error will keep the inning alive. The 20th of the year on Brian Bixler.
It almost looked to me like he might have broken a lace in that glove the way it came out of there. That ball was hit about as hard as you can hit it, and Bixler not able to handle it, but it does go down as an error. Second error here, consecutive error by Eastern Michigan. Initially, Kevin, I thought it broke a lace and went right through it, but he just dropped it.
Can Nebraska take advantage of Eastern Michigan's generosity? 2 errors with 2 out. And Alex Gordon, who doubled in the first, up. Breaking ball, strike 1 to Alex Gordon. Hayes has been around the plate all night long. He has shown some very good control tonight, Abe.
Nipping the corners, using that breaking pitch very effectively. You see it right there. And again, that fastball tailing in on the right-handed hitter, tailing away from the left-hander.
No balls, 1 strike. Gordon, wave and a miss. Strike 2.
Like that.
Huskers left 2 on in the top of the first. They've got 2 on here in the third.
See the ball just moving away from the left-handed hitter. Moving out towards that corner. Tough to catch up to that. And if you do, you've got to hit it to the left side.
No balls, 2 strikes. Simakaitis at second, Hopper at first. And the 0-2. Way high. Good play by Olivier, leaping out of his crouch to make that catch. That's a heck of a play.
Those are the kind, when you see him coming, you hope that you can get there. And Brett Olivier was hoping he could get there, and he did. Just barely.
Quick reaction by that man behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Gordon fouls it away. And it'll stay 1-2. Get the feeling Nebraska over these last game plus today, just waiting for somebody to come up with that big hit. Nobody's done it so far, but perhaps if someone does, the floodgates would open up. Perhaps Gordon will be that guy. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 on. And he battles away again.
And he indeed is a battler, Kevin. A great athlete. We talked about his abilities a number of times, but at Lincoln Southeast, tremendous baseball player, obviously, but also a very gifted and tremendous football player. He might be maybe the best athlete to go through Southeast and have a lot of great athletes come through their halls.
The 1-2 again. Breaking pitch misses outside. 2-2 now on Gordon. Curtis Ledbetter on deck. But Gordon wants to take a whack here at Dale Hayes. 2 errors in the inning have kept it alive for Gordon. And Hayes will step off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Simakaitis at second, Hopper at first. Top of the third inning, no score between Nebraska and Eastern Michigan. The 2-2 to Gordon. Fouled away again. Boy, Nebraska's hitters have really battled Hayes tonight. They don't have anything to show for it yet, but they have fouled off some awfully good pitches from Hayes to keep at-bats alive.
Pitch count. We'll try to get a pitch count here shortly on Dale Hayes. But the Nebraska hitters have really upped his pitch count here in the early going of this game.
The 2-2. And it hit him. Alex Gordon gets plunked and the bases are loaded for Ledbetter.
Just catches Alex Gordon on the inside. That's going to bring Roger Coryell out to talk to the home plate umpire, Daryl Mason. Take a look again here. Just
boy, I don't know.
Very
if
close.
It did, it caught a thread on his pant.
Caught the jersey or caught some of that material, perhaps. Just maybe, just right there on the top. That was extremely close.
But Daryl Mason was right there, immediately said it was hit, and Alex Gordon goes to first.
Well, the other thing is Brent Olivier, the catcher, really voiced no surprise or no objection or no anything to the play, and Coryell just took a little stroll out, stroll back, so evidently is okay.
Ledbetter struck out with runners at second and third in the first. He's now up with the bases loaded and 2 out.
A lot of times a coach will come out and he'll ask his catcher, did it hit him or not? And you tell him, and if there's a controversy, then it goes from there. But if no, he'll walk back just like Coryell did.
1-0 on Ledbetter. Bases full of Huskers. 2 down in the third. Ledbetter scorches it to right center field and deep. Looking up, and it's gone. Grand slam for Curtis Ledbetter. His 3rd of the year. And Nebraska leads it 4-0.
He was 5 for 5 in bases jammed situations, as Kevin just mentioned. His third grand slam. He had 2 prior, and now comes up and really puts the spark in the Huskers that they were looking for. 220 pounds, and he got it. He got all of it. Struck out his last time up. But man, does he come back big there.
Curtis Ledbetter. Larry Putney's got more on Curtis. Larry?
Well, guys, not only was he 7 for 7 going into that, now 8 for 8 and 21 RBIs with the bases loaded. I mean, amazingly clutch hitter there.
Well, there's no question about it. And we saw a shot of him in the dugout after his strikeout in the first inning. He was livid.
Tough look. Very tough look.
And he did not let that opportunity pass him by again. 53 RBI on the year now for Ledbetter. 13 home runs. And Nebraska leads it 4-0. And there's the big hit Nebraska's been looking for this entire day.
Well, you were talking about a spark for the Huskers just a moment ago, Kevin, and perhaps that is it. Get the team motivated, get them going the right direction here.
2 balls, no strikes on Daniel Bruce. Dale Hayes had 2 out, nobody on. His defense let him down. 2 errors in the inning. 2 errors and a hit batsman. And Curtis Ledbetter, the only hit of the inning, a grand slam to right center.
Pitch moving in again, a little bit low, but at knee-high level, and Daniel Bruce called strike.
A 2-1. 3-1 now on Bruce. This inning should have been over a long time ago, but Eastern Michigan gave Nebraska extra outs, and you cannot do that with any team at this level. And Nebraska's made them pay. 4-0 Huskers. And the 3-1 to Bruce. Low ball 4. The inning stays alive for Fusilier.
And Dale Hayes continues to hurt his cause out there. He had the error on himself, then hit the batter. He gave up the home run to Ledbetter, the granting. And now this walk. Still nothing happening down the line in terms of Eastern Michigan pen activity, although it looks like it's going to happen now.
Trevor Carpenter starting to make his way down to the pen. Trevor has worked a lot in this regional. He's appeared in both of the Eastern Michigan games, and he's going to start warming up down that left field line. Brent Olivier had his piece with his pitcher, and now Brandon Fusilier will get a chance to swing. There's a look at Trevor Carpenter, the reliever for the Eagles, who has been a very busy young man. 2 down in the inning. Bruce at first and Fusilier the batter. Throw over to first, and Daniel Bruce is picked off of first base, and the inning is over. 4 runs on 1 hit. Bruce is picked off to end the inning, and we head to the bottom of the 3rd. 4-0 Nebraska. Along with Adrian Fiala, Larry Putney, and our entire NETV Sports production crew, Kevin Kugler with you from Hawks Field. Let's go downstairs to Larry Putney.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm down here with Kim Anderson, Dina Sawyers, husband just got tossed, and Amanda Childress. So, did you talk to the guys after the first game?
No, they really didn't want much to do with us, actually. They went in and started all over, so.
So is this more difficult on you guys, or is it more difficult on those guys?
It depends on what game it is, but I think all in all it's more difficult on them.
How many times has Andy been tossed?
Well, once officially. The last time was twice, I guess, but he did come back, so just once.
All right, guys, up to you.
No, it's not easy for those ladies as they watch their husband's team, the ups and downs of this day and of this season.
Well, especially on that play there, when you see one thing happen and you think it's coming your way, and then all of a sudden in the span of a nanosecond it gets changed, and that trips your trigger.
Zach Kroenke pitching to Brian Bixler, the top of the order for Eastern Michigan. Kroenke trying to use that 4-run lead he's been staked to now and put some good innings together. He had a good one in the second, retired the side in order. He sent 5 in a row down now after troubles in the first. And fouled away by Bixler, who flied out to start this game off for Eastern Michigan in the first. Bottom of the third inning, 4-0 Nebraska on the grand slam by Curtis Ledbetter. The biggest hit of the day for Nebraska. Outside corner just missed. 1-2. Well set up out there. He hit the target, but Daryl Mason said a little wide.
He's trying to make it happen, though. He's got a little bit of spark now. He's got a 4-run lead. Just go out there and play catch with your catcher.
Down the line, going over to track it down Fusilier, and he rams into the fence, and that ball drops foul. Boy, it's a good thing there's a lot of give to that fence, because he hit that thing full bore, and he appears to be okay. Holy cow, what a shot he took from that fence.
Ball hit well down the line. Some thought maybe it was going to stay fair and perhaps get out. Now watch this. Fusilier, just a dead run, no regard for the body, and bingo. Tell you what, whoever designed that fence deserves a high praise and maybe a raise, Kevin.
They'll get it from Brandon Fusilier.
Saved Fusilier a lot of pain down there.
And he hit this thing full bore, and he dropped like a wet sack of cement. Wham, and then just plop on the ground.
For a second there, the way he hit it to our vantage point right down the line here, it looks like he maybe was going to go through it, but he's a big, strong guy, but he'd have to be a lot bigger and a lot stronger to do that.
1-2 on Bixler.
Wow, he went a long ways too. He's playing with shading over in the gap in left center and took off on a dead run. Long strike.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Zach Kroenke peering in, and here comes the 1-2. Chopped on the ground. Gordon wide to third, cannot make the play. It trickles off of Simakaitis' glove, and that'll be an infield hit. Would have been a tough play to make, even if Gordon is able to scoop it up. And a hit for Brian Bixler.
Just in the right spot here, right in that dead area between the third baseman and the shortstop. Alex cannot come up with a baseball, and even if Joe does, as you mentioned, Kevin, if he comes up with it right there, maybe has a play, but I doubt it. Bixler's a leadoff hitter. He can run well, and I think he gets a single out of that regardless.
4-0 Nebraska. Leadoff man on here in the third for Eastern Michigan. Tony Palazzolo, the batter, and he sprays it foul, 0-1. He singled and was out at the plate in the first inning. Bottom of the third, Eastern Michigan. This is a team that can score a lot of runs in a hurry. No lead is safe with this offense. Throw over and back in easily is Brian Bixler. He's a threat to go. He had 16 stolen bases over there.
He can run, as I said a moment ago, so you've got to be very mindful of it. Kroenke, of course, the left-hander. A bit of an advantage there.
The 0-1. Palazzolo ropes that one into right field. That's a base hit. Bixler rounds second. He'll hold up right there. And the throw comes through to third from Daniel Bruce. First and second, nobody out here in the Eagle third trying to answer those 4 runs Nebraska put up in the top of the inning.
Nice work at the plate by Palazzolo. Kind of shortened up a little bit. Just slapped that pitch that was outside into right field. Daniel Bruce catches up with it. Now watch this gun right here. He's got a great arm. Covers a lot of ground with that speed. Great arm. Daniel Bruce getting it done in right field for the Huskers.
Bullpen activity beginning again for Nebraska. 4-0 Huskers with the lead. Steve Hale, the right-hander, starting to loosen into the Nebraska pen. Nobody out, 2 on, bottom of the third. Peterson smokes that one deep towards center. Lisey on his horse, still going back at the track, makes the basket catch for the first out of the third inning.
Jeff Lisey with an All-American catch in center field, and that's not strange because he's an All-American player, both in the classroom and on the field. Playing a little bit up as Peterson just gets all of it, but just not quite enough to get it over the head of Jeff Lisey. And then he plants it up and lets go. The runner at first base had already come down to second. He had to go back, but the runner at second, Bixler, tags up and moves on down to third.
1 down in the inning, and Ryan Goleski up. He singled through the left side in the first inning. He has loved Husker pitching in this regional. Low for a ball to Ryan Goleski, the big slugger in this Eastern Michigan lineup. Preseason All-American this year. He was a second-team All-American a year ago. And you can see why. He's the all-time home run king at Eastern Michigan. 381 a year ago with 22 home runs. Ball trickles away from Wells, but not far enough for any advance. 2-0 on Goleski, and the runners hold at the corners.
Goleski had 3 hits yesterday, 3 for 6 for Eastern Michigan. Has 1 today. As you see, Wells knocking it down right there. And then Kroenke taking no chance at all. Good move by Kroenke. Get up to the plate just in case that runner at third breaks.
He's hit into 1 double play this year. Kroenke would love to see number 2 here to get him out of the inning. Throw over to first, and back in over there is Palazzolo. Two and 0 the count on Ryan Goleski. Runners at first and third. 1 down in the bottom of the third, and Nebraska with a 4-run lead. Strike called on the outside corner. 2-1 on Goleski.
Not a surprise there. That simply just is not in Goleski's zone as far as hitting goes, and you're going to let those go by. You want your pitch to hit. That's not his pitch to hit.
He has shown that he's an exceptionally choosy hitter, at least in this regional. He's picked his pitches and he's known what to do with them. Throw back over, and Palazzolo not going anywhere. Tony over at first, 4 for 8 stolen bases on the year.
We saw in his last at bat, Kevin, that he took that ball down on the inside part of the plate. Inside half of the plate, I think you better worry about where the ball's going with Goleski. But that pitch that was called a strike was outside his zone, on the outside part of the plate, down and away. Not his zone.
2 balls, 1 strike. Kroenke delivers. Strike 2. Snap throw down to first. Just back in there under the tag. Palazzolo almost strayed too far, and that would have been a horrible base running play for Eastern Michigan.
Well, we've seen that happen once already today in the previous game. Here's a good job by Matt Wells behind the plate to keep the runner honest. Very good throw down there, and just back in time is Tony Palazzolo.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Time is called. Zach Kroenke, not a big strikeout pitcher, but he'd love one here. Instead, to throw over to first, Palazzolo right back on top of the bag.
Most of the time, you're going to have some sort of sign involved with that sort of pickoff play that Wells just performed. Throwing the ball down to Matt Hopper at first base.
Ball in the dirt. Wells, another good stop to hold Palazzolo at first, and more importantly, hold Bixler at third.
And then other times the runner will break and then freeze on the base paths, and you just have to come up firing and just hope that whoever it is, the first baseman, the second baseman, whoever it is covering the bag, is alert and ready to make the play.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Ryan Goleski. Throw over again. Palazzolo going nowhere. Got to be careful here with Ryan Goleski. He can make that 4-0 lead shrink rather quickly with 1 big swing. He's hit 3 homers already in the region. And a chopper on the infield. Slow roller. Only 1 play to first. Simakaitis makes it. The run scores, but 2 out now in the inning. Give Goleski his 61st RBI of the year. He is retired, and Bixler scores the first Eagle run.
Joe Simakaitis again, a nice job here of handling the ball on the run. Goleski can move pretty well down that line, so you can't tarry out there. You see, just gets him by about a step right there. But Joe Simakaitis, a little bit of a slow roller off the bat of Goleski. Not used to seeing all that happen all that much, but Joe got it done, got the out, but the run came in.
4-1 now. Nebraska's lead down to 3. Runner at second is Palazzolo, and the batter Brent Olivier, the catcher. And a pitch inside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Olivier. Came to Eastern Michigan from Alma College. Didn't have a lot of power. Not a real power catcher, but a good average in Alma College and a good average this year with Eastern Michigan. He hit just .238 a year ago. That average up almost 80 points this season. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-1.
Little help for Kroenke right there as Olivier goes for the breaking ball down. So that breaking pitch starts out about thigh high or knee high, doesn't have much of a chance to be in the strike zone. When you're guessing up there sometimes and things are happening very fast, difficult to pick that up, but Olivier not able to see that quick as another one comes in, another breaking pitch. Did he go?
He did go. According to home plate umpire Daryl Mason, it's 1-2. He could not check his swing, and Kroenke 1 strike away from getting out of the third.
I always wondered as a catcher, you know, we're used to handling curveballs all the time behind the plate, so why can't you hit them? Never seemed to work that well.
No,
Kevin.
That theory's not a sound one. The 1-2. They appeal down to first, no swing, says Tim Clockerty.
But again, Wells knocking the ball down while breaking into the dirt and knocking it down and keeping that runner at second.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 4-1 Nebraska, bottom of the third. The elimination game in the NCAA Regional. Whirl around, no play at second. Palazzolo right back in there. Brent Olivier from Hazlet, Michigan, was a high school swimmer and then decided to concentrate on baseball. It's worked out pretty well for him. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and now Kroenke wants to talk to his catcher, Matt Wells. Quick conversation.
Not sure what all that would be about, other than the fact that you got a runner at second base and might be some sort of a sign situation. Maybe Wells wants to change the sign, change the indicator, change the sign, change the pattern.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Olivier the batter. Chopper on the ground. Gordon backs up a step, throw across the diamond. Low throw, and a hopper can't handle it. Here comes the second run to score. Palazzolo around from second. He scores on the error. And Nebraska gives back another run. E5 for Alex Gordon. And the innings keeps going.
Ball beat in the ground. Alex was playing deep down there at third base. The ball took kind of a funny hop, and that glove went up to the left-hand side. Kind of surprised him to some extent. And I think it just ruined his timing a little bit. From that point on, it was tough to make that throw, and Hopper just could not handle it over there. As Kevin said, a run comes in. 4-2 is the score.
Eastern Michigan answers back, just like they did yesterday in the Nebraska-Eastern Michigan game. Nebraska would grab a lead. Eastern Michigan would score in the bottom of the inning, or rather in the top of the next inning. Here they've done it again with 2 runs across in the bottom of the third. Ford quickly down 0-2. Ryan Ford struck out in the first. Kroenke trying to do it again.
Good breaking pitch right there by Kroenke. He's really had his moments here, Kevin, in this game in the early going.
The 0-2.
Well at times and not so well at times as he wastes that one outside.
See how he handles Ford here on 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ford representing the tying run here in the third. 4-2 Nebraska. 2 runs across for Eastern Michigan. And Ford smokes it into center field. That's a base hit. The inning keeps going as Ford wraps a single to center. And Luke Beeler now with his chance to swing for Eastern Michigan.
Well, one thing we talked about earlier was Eastern Michigan's ability to swing the ball bats, and we are seeing it again. This is a team that just won't quit in terms of the batter's box. They just get after it. We saw that yesterday. Their coach, Roger Coryell, said we've come to play, we've come to gain respect, and they're certainly trying to do that again here. 5 hits thus far in the first 3 innings.
Nebraska with 4 runs on just 3 hits. Luke Beeler flied out in the second. He's got an opportunity here with 2 out to make a little more progress towards that lead. 2-run lead for Nebraska. 2 out here in the third, and a lot of damage has come in with those 2 men out. Singles to lead it off, then a ground out plated the first run, and Nebraska finds itself in trouble here again with 2 down as Beeler takes a strike, 0-1.
Right down the old highway, as we say, right down the middle to Beeler. He was upset with himself that he didn't go after that pitch, and that pitch just misses.
1 ball, 1 strike. Wells making another stop on that pitch behind the plate. Runner at second, Olivier. Runner at first is Ford. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beeler looks at ball 2. 2-1 now on Luke Beeler. Ryan Arnett on deck for the Eagles. Nebraska losing earlier today 4-2 to Southwest Missouri State. SMS waiting for the winner of this game in tomorrow's first championship game. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Beeler.
And whichever of these 2 teams advance, they're going to have to beat SMS a couple of times to make it work. Pitching is critical for Eastern Michigan. Nebraska, I believe, still has some pitching depth left.
The 2-2 inside, ball 3, almost got him. Beeler just ducked out of the way.
Do a little dance right here, and that's what Beeler has done. Kroneke trying to back him up just a little bit. Maybe set him up for some kind of a pitch on the outside here. See you in a moment.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Kroneke waits. There go the runners. Skied in the air on the right side in foul ground. Matt Hopper drifting over. He makes the catch, and that retires the Eagles in the 3rd. 2 runs come across at the end of 3. 4-2 Nebraska. Nebraska as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Huskers will have their lower third of the order up against Dale Hayes here in the top of the 4th. We mentioned earlier we are eager to get your comments on our coverage of Nebraska baseball over the past few seasons, both pro and con. You can mail it to us or you can email to us at netvsports@unl.edu. We've already received a bunch of responses. Greg in Lincoln says, I'd like to thank you for your great coverage of Nebraska baseball. Without you guys, most people would not be able to enjoy excellent baseball played in the Cornhusker State. Keep doing a great job. Don and Robin in Grand Island say, thank you so much for showing games on NETV. My wife and I have only been able to make it to 3 games in person over the past 2 seasons. We are huge Husker fans of all sports and are always thrilled when one of the baseball games are televised. Send your comments, questions, anything you need, netvsports@unl.edu or to the address on your screen. As we begin the top of the 4th inning, turn it over to Adrian.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Good to be with you. Great night for baseball. Being with you all day here, my friend. You and Larry. Good to be with Larry and our whole crew. And good to hear from the viewers. We appreciate the responses as Brandon Fusilier will step in. He has taken 2 strikes now. Fusilier, Matt Wells, and Jake Mullinex, the hitters for Nebraska here in the top of the 4th inning. 4-2, the Huskers lead it. It has been a surprising day for Huskers, for Husker fans, and for Huskers as Fusilier takes one right off the top of the left shoulder.
Obviously not what Dale Hayes had in mind, ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, trying to get one inside. And that's the problem with that waste pitch sometimes. You try to waste a pitch, it goes upstairs, but it goes a little too far upstairs and hits the guy on the shoulder. And that waste pitch wastes an 0-2 count, and Fusilier is on with a leadoff plunking.
11th time this year that Fusilier has been hit by a pitch. So the Huskers have a runner down at first base. Nobody out here, 4th inning. And they're checking the runner over at first. Fusilier, 4 for 7 as far as stolen bases go. Matt Wells, the hitter, 0 for 1 tonight. Mentioned earlier his first appearance in regional play here this evening. Again, a check throw to Fusilier. Matt Wells from Littleton, Colorado. Went to Columbine High School, then played junior college ball at Seward City Community College out in Kansas. Hit .480 down there with 11 home runs and 40 runs driven in. His team was number 9 in the nation. And there's the pitch in to Matt Wells for a called strike.
Activity beginning, Aid, in the Eastern Michigan bullpen as we watch the strike from Dale Hayes right down the middle to Matt Wells. Right-hander starting to go in the Eagle bullpen. They're pitching rather shallow, so we'll see who is up in the pen.
Pitch out there by Dale Hayes, perhaps anticipating some sort of action by Fusilier down at first, or over at first. The count is 1-1 on Matt Wells. Huskers trying to maintain the lead. The ground ball to short should be 2. Nope, he's not going to go to second. He's going to first for 1. Get that sure out. Fusilier moving down the base path very, very quickly. And the shortstop there, Bixler, didn't toss it over. Palazzolo maybe a little bit late getting over there. Let's take a look. Yeah, he was. Just way late getting over there. No chance at all to get it out. So get that out over at first base. So Wells is out 6-3, and Fusilier moves up.
Fusilier running on the play gave him the head start, and by the time they got Palazzolo over to the bag, no chance at all to get Brandon Fusilier. So good job by Nebraska's coaches to put the runner in motion.
Jake Mullinex, the hitter, 3 for 3. His last appearance, and now trying to pick up his teammate Fusilier out there. Jake Mullinex swinging a good ball bat, playing good defense for the Huskers. Dale Hayes delivers, and a little bit out in front is Jake Mullinex. Jake out of Hesperia, California, 6'1", 200 pounds. Staring down at his coach. There's the bullpen.
Trevor Carpenter beginning to work down in the Eagle bullpen. He went down there earlier. Hayes, so far, other than the mistake to Ledbetter on the grand slam, has been very good.
1-1 on the way to Wells, and he hits down the left field line to get a score run. Jake Mullinex is going to dig for second base, stand up there, and the ball comes in, and Mullinex has RBI number 19.
Well, this is what Jake Mullinex did yesterday. He came through with big hits for Nebraska against Eastern Michigan. He does it again here. Give him the RBI on this rope down the line. Brandon Fusilier scoring all the way from second base very easily on this stand-up double. And Nebraska gets one of those runs back. 5-2 now. Huskers with the lead over the Eagles, and back to the top of the order it goes. Nebraska's lineup at the top has been quiet today. We'll see if Jeff Lisey can get going here.
Lisey 0 for 5 in this afternoon's game against SMS. Jake Mullinex feasting on Eagle pitching. 3 for 3 yesterday with 2 RBIs. And he has a single and RBI here today. 1 for 2 today. And there's a slow roller coming in on the corner to Jeff Lisey. Lisey 0 for 2 thus far in this ball game. Huskers up 5-2. Jeff Lisey 5'10", 165. And pretty good pop in the bat as far as power goes for the senior from Craig Prep. There's a ground ball through the middle. Should score another run for the Huskers. Here comes the throw in. It'll be cut off as Mullinex comes around to score. And Lisey breaks into the hit column. And not only that, has an RBI.
34th RBI of the year for Jeff Lisey. But more importantly, I think, the fact that Jeff Lisey came through with a hit. When Jeff Lisey is going well, Nebraska's offense is going well, and Lisey did what he does best, took the pitch right back where it came from, right up the middle, and Lisey on, scoring the 6th Husker run on his single up the middle.
Jeff Lisey, one of the captains on this ball club, trying to spark this team. More bullpen activity. It's Dave Perron going down to the pen. He's been an active guy here the last few days. Pitched yesterday.
Started yesterday.
He pitched earlier today. He pitched an inning or two today. There he is losing. Wow. Mr. Ironman as far as the arm goes. Roger Coryell now the coach. The head coach, and also handles the pitchers for this ball club, out to the mound to say hello and see what's happening on the mound. Hasn't said a word yet to his players. His players looking at him. Here we go.
Well, that's a poker face. Can't tell what Roger Coryell's got in mind.
Well, he was a pitcher himself back in the late 60s. Actually pitched in the national championship game back when the team was in the NAIA conference, and I think we're going to have a change here.
Carpenter's been loosening for quite some time, and neither one of these coaches can be particularly patient with their pitchers. It's 6-2 already, and Roger Coryell says we got to bring in somebody else. Now, their bullpen is short. We told you about that. Their best guy out of the pen, really, Ross Winemko, is not with the team. He had a family situation this weekend that he could not miss out on, and so he is not with the team in the regional. They could certainly use his arm down in that bullpen tonight.
Exactly. It'll be Trevor Carpenter coming in relief. Dale Hayes will make his way off as Carpenter will step out onto the mound and see what he can do to stem the flow here of the Huskers. Huskers picking up a couple of runs here in this inning. Dale Hayes congratulated there by his teammates. Trevor Carpenter, 6'2", 195, Fort Wayne, Indiana. He is a freshman.
There you see the numbers on Trevor. 4 and 5 with a 5.96 earned run average. 24 walks in 68 innings, 40 strikeouts. He's been hit pretty hard. 91 hits in those 68 innings pitched. But Carpenter, one of those very active guys out of the Eagle bullpen, is called upon here to try to stem Nebraska's tide and hold them right at 6 runs.
Pitched in the tournament against Kent State. Started the ball game, pitched 5 1/3 innings there. Gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, all of those earned. Walked a couple of guys and just struck out 1. So Trevor Carpenter trying to make his mark again, Kevin.
Well, earlier today we chatted with Roger Coryell, and one of the things Larry Putney asked him was about the challenge of playing Nebraska once again in this NCAA regional.
Well, I feel like no good deed goes unpunished. You know, we beat a pretty good club today in Coastal Carolina, and I thought God would grant us a little wish here, but facing Nebraska will be a tremendous challenge.
Roger Coryell
Indeed.
looking for a pitcher to try to slow down that challenge of Nebraska, and maybe Nebraska's offense starting to get going.
Eagle fans here. Good contingent has arrived yesterday, and they're really into the ball game, into the ballpark. We had a chance to visit with some of their folks earlier on this afternoon. A little good-natured banter, I might add. But this ball team, this Eastern Michigan ball team, they're scrappy. Kevin talked about it earlier. 15 hits against the Huskers yesterday. But what we have now, a couple of runs across here in the top of the 4th inning. For Nebraska, they lead at 6-2. A check throw to first base over there to check out Jeff Liza. He's back there plenty of time.
Jeff with 19 stolen bases on the year, and don't be surprised to see Jeff Liza going in this at-bat. Mike Anderson wants to keep his team aggressive in this elimination game.
Carpenter again will check Liza. Joe Simakaitis is the hitter for Nebraska. Got on an error last time and came around and scored. Flew out to left field back in the 1st inning. Stepped in tonight hitting .295 on the season. Pitch out there, thinking maybe Liza was going to go ahead and go. Simakaitis looked like he's going to try to drop.
I want to welcome all of our viewers joining us on college sports television across the country as you join us. Nebraska with a 6-2 lead in the top of the 4th, along with Adrian Fiala, Larry Putney. I'm Kevin Kugler. Nebraska with a grand slam from Curtis Ledbetter in the 3rd. That's the difference in this ball game, and the Huskers lead it 6-2 here in the 4th.
Huskers mounting a threat here, picked up 2 runs thus far. Jeff Liza singled. Just stole second base. He is down there in scoring position with 1 out, and Joe Simakaitis is a hitter with a 1-1 count. Joe 0 for 2 on the evening thus far. There's a pitch that gets away from the catcher, Brent Olivier, and Jeff Liza will move on down to third base off that wild pitch.
You got to wonder, Abe, if Carpenter, who's now in his 3rd game in the last 2 days, isn't feeling the effects of that 3rd game. Not only do you pitch in the game, you've got the warm-up to go. He's been up already a couple of times tonight warming up. Those pitches, the last 2 especially, have been nowhere near the zone, and Carpenter who usually has pretty decent control, isn't showing it early.
He pitched 3 2/3 innings yesterday against Nebraska, and then offered up a 2/3 of an inning here this afternoon, Kevin. So as Simakaitis drops one down, safe squeeze for Nebraska, scores a run, and Simakaitis almost beats it out down at first base. But Simakaitis on the bunt brings home the run and makes it 7-2 for the Huskers.
Absolutely perfect safety squeeze executed by Nebraska. Joe Simakaitis, a beautiful bunt, pushes it past the pitcher. No chance to get Lisey at the plate. He was off on contact, and Nebraska leads it 7-2. Beautiful execution, and another run across for Nebraska.
No way to stop the run on that kind of bat handling by Joe Simakaitis. Well done by that youngster, St. Louis product, as Matt Hopper will step in. Matt, the Big 12 Conference Player of the Year, and deservedly so, as he looks at the second pitch coming on in. That got on an air last time, came around, scored a run, scored on that home run by Ledbetter, and then Singleton was stranded at third base back in the first inning. Matt hitting .377 on the year, leading the team in average home runs and in RBIs. Matt Hopper, Golden, Colorado product, been around here. He's been a fixture. As he said, I'm 23 and some of the other guys are 18, but they still treat me pretty well. And there's strike 3 on the outside corner. Matt did not like it, but that ends the inning for the Huskers. But they pick up 3 runs here in the top of the 4th inning. Our score is 7-2. Nebraska leads it. We'll be back with more college baseball right after this.
Back at Haymarket Park, Hawks Field, the Huskers on top after scoring 3 in the top of the 4th inning. Nebraska now leading it 7-2. And guys, I'm out here in the right center field berm with a bunch of happy young ball players. This is Dylan Vergeth. And Dylan, tell everybody what you got.
Kurt Ledbetter's Grand Slam ball.
The Grand Slam ball. That's a prized possession there, huh?
Yeah.
Now, how did you have to fight these guys to get it?
A little bit, yeah.
Tell me how you got it.
Well, I was up there playing pickle, and I saw the ball come off the bat, so I went running, and I just dived under everybody and got it.
Now, these guys said you kind of pushed them out of the way.
Well, I do what I can to get a ball.
How many of you guys were close to the ball? Me! Yeah, guys, a rugby scrum has nothing on what took place out here.
What I can to get the ball. That's a good attitude out there for that youngster. Ryan Arnett is the hitter. First pitch in for a strike, and he goes after this one, fouls it off very quickly. Zach Kroenke, the pitcher, ahead of the count here, 0-2. Ryan Arnett, he grounded out his last time up. Hitting .335. He's a number 8 hitter on this ball club. .335 with 12 home runs and 44 runs driven in. When you look at those numbers, Kevin, you think maybe this guy should be up in the order, but he's hitting at the number 8 spot, which I always look at as being the second cleanup spot. So all depends on your perspective and how your coach wants to treat it. There's a little ground ball to Hopper at first. He's going to toss it over to Kroenke. Well done, well executed for the first out.
And the best part of the play, Zach Kroenke very quickly off the mound and got over to the bag in plenty of time. Matt Hopper has good range to his right, able to pick up the play very easily, but he's got no play unless Kroenke's there quickly. And on the break of the ball going to the right side, Kroenke knows his job is to get over to the bag. He did it, and a very good play by the freshman pitcher.
And you need to remember when you watch that play, you saw Matt Hopper toss the ball out in front of Kroenke, not at Kroenke as he's moving, but out in front, so he can run to and come to the baseball. Ground ball to Mullinex at second to Hopper, and that'll do it for Tim Klaus. So Eastern Michigan going quickly here in the 4th inning.
Zach Kroenke has had an interesting start tonight, Ed, as we see Tim Klaus's easy grounder to Mullinex again. He has been very, very good at spells, and other times he'll slough off a little bit. Had a couple of problems last inning, which led to a couple of runs scored by Eastern Michigan. But for a guy that found out an hour and a half before the game that he was going to be starting a game tonight, I think Nebraska's got to be pleased with what they've had out of their freshman tonight.
So far, I think that is correct, Kevin. 2 runs on 5 hits. But again, a long ways to go yet in the ball game. Kroenke faced, 6 hitters in the first inning. Then he retired the side in the second inning. He faced 7 hitters in the third inning, and now he's working on retiring the side here in this inning. So There's a strike. Good breaking pitch into the leadoff hitter. That's Brian Bixler. So maybe this is one of those cha-cha-cha deals we have there. The pitch comes in, no doubt about that. Good pitch. Bixler, the sophomore out of Sandusky, Ohio. Second team All-MAC player. Also made the All-MAC tournament this year as Matt Wells is staring into the dugout there to pick up a sign. Bixler just staring out to find a pitch he would like to hit. 1-2 is the count to Bixler. Backs him off. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brian Bixler now. Preseason All-American. Last year a third team All-American. He's got some power, as we said a moment ago. 9 home runs for a leadoff hitter. Decent. Skies this one. 3 players giving chase. Daniel Bruce has it corralled, and that is it for Eastern Michigan here very quickly in the 4th inning. Nebraska 7, Eastern Michigan 2. We're back in a moment. There it is, the jewel of the ballpark we all talk about. Hawks Field here at Haymarket Park. You see the grounds crew just paying extra particular attention to the infield. There they are. Well, they take great care of this field. Groundskeeper here is Dan Bergstrom. This field is unique in this country. This is one of just 4 like it, with a sub-air system that heats or cools. It also has a prescription soil that drains very, very well. And I tell you what, Kevin, we've done baseball games here where it's raining like the dickens on Saturday morning up until about noon, and all of a sudden, boom, it quits, and there we are. So this is a wonderful, wonderful ballpark. And again, if you have a chance, come on out and join the activity here.
Let's take a look at the numbers between these two teams. They 45-17 Nebraska, 33-27 Eagles. Offensively, these teams are very similar. Power-wise, stolen base-wise, average-wise. As we talked about yesterday, the real difference between Nebraska and Eastern Michigan is not offensively, it's in the pitching stats, where Eastern Michigan's earned run average is near 6, Nebraska's 3.77. That's been the difference tonight. 7 runs on the board for Nebraska, 2 so far for Eastern Michigan.
And 4 of those coming off the big bat of Curtis Ledbetter, a grand slam home run, his 3rd of his career here, as Alex Gordon is the hitter. Huskers trying to make something happen again in this inning. They lead in this game by 5 runs, 7-2.
Trevor Carpenter on in relief of Dale Hayes. Hayes, the guy that gave up the grand slam to Ledbetter, who waits on deck.
Gordon leaning in a little bit there. Ball just tailing up and in towards him. And he's okay. Brought a good reaction from the crowd here. But Alex Gordon, salty ball player, knows how to handle the situation. There's a strike. Gordon, the only member of the Nebraska squad to make the Big 12 All-Tournament team. Hit .350 in the tournament. Had a home run and 9 RBIs. Ground ball that is handled by Bixler out there and makes the throw over to Ryan Ford at first base. Well done by Bixler.
And a nice range to his left by Brian Bixler. Gordon sent this one up the middle. For a while, looked like it might sneak through, but there's Bixler, scoops it up in one motion, makes a good, strong throw to retire Gordon for the first out here in the 5th.
Brian Bixler playing a whale of a game out there for his ball club here in this tournament, as Curtis Ledbetter will step in, and there you see it says home run, but you need to pull a star behind that or just put GRD or something. Granny, he hit the granny back in the 3rd inning.
His 3rd grand slam of the year, 21 RBI with the bases loaded for Ledbetter.
Quickly running the count here, 1-1 with 1 out. Ledbetter, high school, state MVP in the All-Star game, and also named the Kansas Player of the Year, as fouls one off, and I think that got Brandon Fusilier's teammate, did it not?
Fusilier's had a rough night. We saw him run into the fence in left field earlier. This time his teammates are taking shots at him. Brandon's going to say, look, guys, come on. We're on the same team here.
He's going to need some body armor and a warning system to get him through the ball game tonight. Ledbetter checks the swing, appeal, and no, there is No strike call. First base umpire is Tim Clougherty. As Ledbetter tries to recompose here and get ready to go again. You know, he struck out in the first inning, and as Kevin pointed out, as we watched him in the dugout, you could see the intensity in his eyes, a lot of fire in his eyes. And he looks at this pitch, and that just misses. So the count now 3-2 to Fusilier. Or check it, Ledbetter, I beg your pardon.
Curtis Ledbetter earlier in the year had a 23-game hitting streak. He's been the big surprise of Nebraska's offense all year.
Little tapper back to the mound. Carpenter has it. And over to Ryan Ford. Made it a little bit of a challenge over there for Ford. The ball sinking into the dirt, but he made the play.
Yeah, you don't want to throw your best sinker when you're making the throw to first base. And this one looked like Carpenter's sinker. Had plenty of time with Ledbetter, who's not the fleetest of foot on the run, but that pitch, well, looked like a sinker pitch. That throw over to first, down low. Ford made a nice play on it, and 2 up, 2 down in the Husker half of the 5th.
And that'll bring up Daniel Bruce, 0 for 1 on the night. Walked his last time up, struck out in the second inning. Millard West product. Looks at a pitch down low, ball 1. Daniel Bruce, 6'1", 190. He's a sophomore. Freshman All-American last year. And he can play some right field, let me tell you. 1-0 on the way. 2-0 now to Daniel Bruce. Had a pretty good Big 12 tournament. 5 for 18 in the tournament. Also recently selected as a first team academic All Big 12 as he swings, fouls that one down the left field line. 2 balls and a strike now to Daniel Bruce.
Well, without Daniel Bruce's contributions down the stretch in the last month or so of this season, Nebraska's probably not in the position they are right now as a #1 seed in hosting their own regional. He improved his batting average over 100 points down the stretch, and his contributions really made the difference for Nebraska in the final month of the season.
Took that for a strike, even up the count here, 2-2. Breaking pitch right out over the plate for the second strike. Daniel Bruce, you talked about that, Kevin, one of the hottest hitters on the Nebraska baseball team. Hit 400. There's a tapper right back, not a tapper, but a little bit of a hard shot right back to Carpenter. That's it for the Huskers here. They go quickly, quietly here in the top of the 5th inning. They lead it 7-2. There you see the numbers. Palazzo, Peterson, and Gillespie due up for Eastern Michigan.
And welcome back to Hawks Field, Haymarket Park. 7-2 Nebraska on top of the Eagles. And joining me now is Rich Hopper. And of course would be Matt's dad. You must be awful proud of what he's accomplished this year.
Yeah, I think this year he's really overcome a lot of obstacles, and he's really tested himself, and he's become more of a leader.
And much more of a team player, I think, as well.
Yeah, he really enjoys this team. The team, you know, there's a lot of good hitters on the team, and he's just really enjoying himself this year.
Now, you don't miss many home games.
No, we come to just about every home game. We drive out here every weekend from Colorado, and it's fun just to watch him play every weekend.
Must have been an exciting day for you yesterday with the 2 home runs.
Yeah, he kind of surprised me, but it was good to see him hit again. It was good to see everybody hit, because I think, you know, they got a really strong hitting team, and seeing him hit like that for the whole game, it was great.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Guys, that's the one thing they have to recapture, huh?
Larry, I'll tell you what, Matt Hopper has done a great job to recover from all the things he had to go through, both at the end of last year with the injuries and the surgeries and some of the problems off field, off the year, and now back here and just doing a tremendous job for the Huskers. Tony Palazzolo is the hitter, and he puts one down. The ball hit him?
The ball hit him as he
territory, and he came out.
Yep.
So he's out.
He is out. Tried to bunt, and the ball hit him. So he is out #1 here in the 5th inning. Right there, bumped him on the right arm, and he knew it. He slowed up. Home plate umpire Daryl Mason knew it. See right there, bonked him, or maybe on the side of the head, but it got him in fair territory, and if that happens, you are out. So Palazzolo goes quietly here to start off the 5th.
Trying to butt the ball, excuse me, down the first base line, and just got right on top of the baseball, hit it straight down in fair territory, and then bounced up. And as Kevin just mentioned, ball touches you in fair territory, you're a goner. You're an out. 1 out. Derek Peterson will now step in And he has run the count to 1-1. This young man, again, as we've told you time and time again, excellent baseball player for this bunch. 1 for 4 yesterday in the ball game as he taps this one down to Alex Gordon. Foul ball. Derek Peterson made the All-MAC tournament this year. And also, as far as hits go in the league, was 8th with 77 hits coming into the tournament. So again, playing a good brand of baseball for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. 6'3", 185 out of Toledo. 25 career home runs. Fouls this one back.
Derek Peterson, the co-newcomer of the year with Ryan Goleski in 2001, was a pitcher at the start of his Eastern Michigan career. Not a very effective pitcher at the start of his Eastern Michigan career, and thus now spending his time in the field. Nebraska's got to be thrilled, Abe, with what they've gotten from Zach Kroenke to this point. I know there's a long way to go, but this is saving a bullpen, and they may need it later.
Fly ball into center field, and Lizzie is there and records the out. Out number 2 for Eastern Michigan here, as Derek Peterson lost it to center field.
Zach Kroenke coming right back in after Derek Peterson. Peterson with an easy fly ball to Lizzie for the second out. And now Ryan Goleski. This is the way, if you're Nebraska, you want Ryan Goleski to hit with the bases empty.
And 2 out.
Yep.
And you're still not sure what he's going to do. He's got that armor on, that left elbow protected by that plastic armor as he takes the first pitch in there, called strike. Goleski, career leader in home runs, career leader in RBIs, 3rd in runs, 8th in career hits. And he is a load up there, 6'3", 225. From Lake Orion, Michigan. There you see the armor we talked about. It's becoming more and more popular, Kevin, with players. We saw it obviously start out, and then another taken strike by Goleski. Saw it develop obviously in the professional leagues. Breaking pitch coming right in, crossing the zone. Nice job by Kroenke there. But now this armor thing is filtering down to college ball. And Kroenke tries to jam Goleski, and the ball is fair and just past the outstretched arm of Matt Hopper going down the line to try to make the play.
So a foul ball, and Goleski will head back to the box and get another swing at it. It's one of the few criticisms when you talk about that armor that Goleski wears of Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds will stand right over the plate, allows him to get to the outside corner very easily, and if you get hit by a pitch, you get hit on the armor. It doesn't do any good. Doesn't really
I think Daniel
dissuade
Bruce,
you from doing it.
Daniel Bruce had to think about investing in some of that stuff. Never ever hit with that kind of stuff on. And there's a pitch down into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Goleski.
Getting a little cooler outside as we approach 10 o'clock in the Central Time Zone. Had a day where it was about 75 degrees here in Lincoln. Bright, sunshiny day, but expected to dip into the upper 40s, lower 50s tonight. A little crisp out there on the field at this point.
2-2 on the way to Goleski, and he fouls another one. Continues to battle up there at the plate. Goleski in high school, rated by Baseball All-America as the #1 senior in the state of Michigan. High praise from a very well-respected magazine. As Goleski stares at a 2-2 count. Kroenke has the sign from Matt Wells. And guess what? Again.
Good battle brewing here between Goleski and Kroenke. Kroenke not giving in to the best hitter on this Eagle team. He's the most dangerous hitter as far as power, and certainly in this regional he's been the best.
Ball up and out. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to the big power hitting Ryan Goleski. All-American last year, 2nd team All-American. Pitch just missed to the outside. Goleski 1 for 2 with an RBI on the evening. "3-2 on the way. Fly ball, going to be no play on that one. Earlier today against Coastal Carolina, Goleski was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, so he's having quite a regional tournament. He'll be on a ballot somewhere with a couple of guys I know, Kevin.
His 2-run homer in the middle of that game against Coastal Carolina broke the game open. It was a tight game at that point. Gave Eastern Michigan the lead, a lead they lost, but then got back late and eventually won 9-8.
Bouncing ball, somebody gets deep in the hole at shortstop. Here's the throw. That's just a great play and a great snag by Matt Hopper over there to end the inning for Eastern Michigan. Huskers lead it 7-2. Back to Haymarket in just a moment. Good crowd here tonight again for this regional baseball game. There you see the numbers. Nebraska 7 and Eastern Michigan 2, tied up in the hit category. Both teams not sterling on defense, but making good plays at times, Kevin. But again, booting a couple of easy plays that normally you would make. But Nebraska 7-2. They need to win this game to move on tomorrow to stay in this regional tournament. So let's see what happens here as we move along. We are in the top of the 6th inning. Huskers lead at 7-2. Brandon Fusilier, Matt Wells, and Jake Mullinex will step in for Nebraska. Fusilier hit by a pitch last time up, came around to score, struck out looking back in the 2nd inning. Fastball tails in, strike 1.
Trevor Carpenter beginning his 3rd inning of relief work here for Eastern Michigan. He's well over 6 innings pitched in the regional already.
Big cut right there by Brandon Fusilier. Just not able to catch up. Low sinker. That left wrist, left thumb taped up. He injured that back in April. End of April. He's been out. It's been sore since then. Let's put it that way. Had a two-run pinch hit home run against Oklahoma State back on April 30th and has been limited since then, but he's come back now and has played well. Just at the right time for the Huskers as he takes that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Brandon Fusilier. Earlier a candidate for the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, but numbers kind of dropped a little bit. Took him out of that consideration, and he will now run the count full here in the 6th inning. Trevor Carpenter staring in. Ball 4 to Fusilier.
Second at bat for Fusilier that he has led off the inning, reaching base. He led off the 4th after being hit by a pitch. He later scored in that 4th inning. So it's a good sign for Nebraska when Fusilier leads off. A leadoff walk, and that's usually something that comes back to haunt you if you're a pitcher. Trevor Carpenter trying to figure out a way to get out of this jam here now with a runner on first. Nobody out in the top of the 6th. Nebraska already leading 7-2.
The catcher,
Matt Wells will step in. He had a conference with Mike Anderson, the head coach here at Nebraska, just a moment ago. And now staring out at some other signs that Mike lays out for both Fusilier at first base and the hitter Matt Wells. 5'11", 190. He's a sophomore out of Colorado, and a check throw over there to Brandon Fusilier. Ryan Ford, the first baseman. I think Brett Bleeger, just right there in the lower right hand part of your screen. Slow curveball in there for a call strike.
Matt Wells hit a real deep shot in the 2nd inning to left field. Forced Klaus back onto the track, but had plenty of room to make the catch in front of the wall. Grounded out back in the 4th, so 0 for 2 on the day for Matt Wells.
Matt Wells didn't play much early in the season. John Gross handling the catching duties and also hitting the baseball very well. Then Gross had the injury to the arm in April, and Matt Wells sees an opportunity to play. Hit well for periods of time. 4 home runs during that stretch. Steps in today with 5 home runs on the season, just hitting .204, but he upped that average about 80 points, I believe, Kevin, and again hitting the home run ball, kind of a bonus for the Huskers. Does well behind the plate. Excellent defensively. 1-1 the count as the runner is checked over first one more time.
Fusilier just 4 stolen bases in 7 attempts this year, but Nebraska trying to be aggressive in this game. and get an aggressive mentality if they win to play tomorrow in the regional finals.
Trying to drop the ball down, Matt Wells, and pops it right up, pops it foul. That'll run the count to 1-2 now. He will check with his coach down at third base for additional signs. Used to do that. The coach would a play like that, he'd just look and say, just do it. Just give you that sign. Just a straight arm out. So just go do it. So let's see if that happens here. Matt Wells, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the 6th. Huskers, the visiting team. As Trevor Carpenter's ready to go. Rocket and caught. Derek Peterson, a great job. Full extension down there, and he gets a big hand from the crowd.
Oh, unbelievable play by Derek Peterson. You won't see any better in any game anywhere in the regionals. Derek Peterson, a stab of that line drive off the bat of Matt Wells, and this is a rocket. Wells hits it right on the button, and Peterson just a dive to his right side. The glove on the left hand, that makes it even a more difficult play. He's going to his right, and he makes the great catch. What a play by Derek Peterson.
Has to come across the body to make it full concentration, and Matt Wells goes back to the bench, is totally frustrated as a hitter, saying, what do I have to do? As this ball is lifted, should be a play on this ball as Ryan Ford gets chase, and he will make the play down the line. The hitter was Jake Mullinex, went after that first pitch and lifted it foul down that right field line for the second out here in the 6th.
Ford chasing it down very easily, and Mullinex on that first pitch. Carpenter has had some bouts of control problems. Of course, walked Fusilier to start the inning, but Mullinex not waiting for Carpenter to get himself into trouble, just attacks that first pitch and fouls out for the second out. Now back to the top of the order in Jeff Lisey.
Lisey last time up, walked, stole a base, came around to score, also had an RBI on that. Actually, he got a base hit, stole a base and got an RBI on that hit. So Jeff Lisey cracked it open. He was 0 for 5 against SMS in the game this afternoon. 0 for 2 in his first 2 appearances, but got that base hit in the 4th inning. A little spark from Captain Lisey. Curveball breaking right to the outside corner. Nice pitch by Carpenter.
Pinpoint control by Trevor Carpenter as he aimed for the outside corner, got the breaking pitch to break over. Set up right into his catcher's glove, and Olivier frames it nicely for Darrell Mason. Lisey down, 0-2.
Lisey, 3-time academic All Big 12 player and also a 2-time academic All-American for Nebraska, and chosen as the academic All-American of the year both times. That is the top academic player in all of college baseball. Jeff Lisey at the plate. He is behind 1-2. Singles right up the middle to center field, and the runner is going to advance. That's Fusilier advancing to third off the line drive shot by Jeff Lisey.
What good aggressive base running by Brandon Fusilier. I think he caught everybody on the Eagles side a little off guard. A slow job in center by Ryan Arnett and picking this one up, and Fusilier motors to third. Lisey just a solid single to center. Arnett coming in, taking some time. And by that point, Fusilier had already made it to third base.
Carpenter was trying to get a curveball out to that outside part of the plate. Didn't locate it very well, and Lisey just tattooed it right on into center field. Moves the runner up to third with 2 outs here. Huskers leading 7-2. Joe Simbakaitis steps in. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Simbakaitis, 6'2", 190. Tremendous athlete, tremendous shortstop. The old fake and turn doesn't work. Trevor Carpenter.
Don't know that it ever does work. It certainly didn't there.
All the years of baseball, I think I've seen it work twice. That's a lot of years of baseball. 1-0 to Simbakaitis, gets away from the catcher, and Olivier is going to hold on to the baseball. Ball went down into the dirt. And in the process, Lisey goes down to second base.
It's a wild pitch, they'll call it. And Lisey will make his way to second. So second and third now with 2 out. And Joe Simbakaitis with a chance to really do some damage here with a base hit.
2 runs available for the Huskers if Joe Semikaitis can deliver. If Lizey's breaking on the pitch and attempting to steal, goes as a stolen base, but he wasn't. Ball down in the dirt. He advances on the wild pitch. And runners at second and third. Semikaitis trying to add to his 35 RBIs here as he takes that pitch in there for a called strike.
Yesterday's starter for Eastern Michigan, Dave Perron, is up in the bullpen and throwing.
He's got to have a bionic arm out there.
He must.
Through 13 innings in the tournament, then came here and started yesterday through this afternoon, and now he's talking about coming in here. Semikaitis drills one to the shortstop, Bixler. He's up with it, fires over to Ford at first base. And the Huskers go down here in the 6th inning. They lead it 7-2. We'll be back with more college baseball right after this.
NCAA regionals in Lincoln, Nebraska. The Huskers trying to battle their way back through the losers bracket and leading right now as we head to the bottom of the 6th, 7-2. Joining me now is Justin Pekarik, and I think a lot of people may say, what's Justin doing out of uniform?
Yeah, well, basically it came down to a 25-man roster, and this year is kind of a real big building year for me, coming off my surgery and everything. So me and Coach Childers and the coaches had a long talk, and they thought it'd be best for me to just go develop this summer, playing summer ball. So they made a decision to let me go and battle with the 25 guys that got more experience in front of me. So
you're going to California this summer, though. That'll be a nice experience.
Yes, I'm going to Santa Barbara, California, and I'm ready to get some innings in and get the love back for the game. So I'm excited.
You've been sitting behind the plate watching this game, and you said Zach's got some stuff tonight.
Yeah, Zach, after that first inning, he settled down real nice, and it's good to see freshmen like that coming in and getting it done. So great things to see from Zach in the future, and he's doing well tonight. So.
He turned to me after one pitch and said his breaking stuff's working.
Yeah, like sometimes his curveball's on. Tonight's on. A lot of people are having trouble hitting it. So keep it up, and I think we'll have this one. So
thanks, Justin. Best of luck this summer.
Thanks, Larry. Justin Pekarik, junior out of Staplehurst, Nebraska. Really had a promising future. It still does. He battled arm problems through the last year and a half, had surgery on his arm, had titanium screws put into his arm to help it heal, as Brent Olivier slaps one out to Mullinex at second, and he is gone quickly.
Pekarik, a guy that has tremendous stuff, had tremendous stuff before the surgery, and was thought of so much by Dave Van Horn that he was brought in, having pitched very little 2 years ago into the College World Series, and came in late, gave up a run, and gave up the lead, took the loss in that game. And Justin Pekarik, a guy that Nebraska's still very high on. Just need to get him back into shape and ready to pitch again. He's got that left arm, and that's one of the things that if you're a left-handed pitcher, you've got a good opportunity.
Well, he's 6'3", 220 pounds, Kevin, and he can throw it. He'll throw in the low 90s, low to mid 90s. Did that before the arm was injured, and then finally got the surgery and healed up. And so now going out to California, play some warm weather ball out there, and hopefully come back next fall and be ready to go. Ryan Ford, the hitter, first baseman for Eastern Michigan, and he has run the count to 1-2 now. Ford struck out his first time up, singled back in the third inning. Ryan Ford from Rochester, Minnesota, 17-game hitting streak this year. 2 for 5 against the Huskers yesterday. Fly ball to left field, and Fusilier is there and makes the grab.
2 easy outs for Zach Kroenke, who has really gotten into a nice groove. He has retired the last 9 men in a row. Beeler, who will stand in now, was the first in that string. But Zach Kroenke really in a groove right now for Nebraska, and doing Nebraska a world of good to get a start like this out of Zach Kroenke tonight.
6 innings thus far. He has retired the side. If he is successful here against this hitter, Luke Beeler, he will have retired the side in 4 innings out of the 6 he has pitched, as the first pitch is a little bit low for ball 1. Had a little trouble in the first inning getting going, and then he gave up the runs in the third inning, but has retired the side in the second, the fourth, the fifth, and he's working on it right here. In the 6th.
Zach Ade has never thrown more than 6 innings, so he's right near his ceiling right now. Last time he did it was April 5th against Kansas.
Trying to get the hitter off the plate there, Beeler. moving him back a little bit. 2 balls and a strike now. So he's approaching his previous limit, I understand, Kevin. There's a ground ball that Simakaitis is up with. It fires over to Hopper at first, and that'll do it quickly for Eastern Michigan here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nebraska leads it. Back with more regional baseball right after this.
Seven to 2, Nebraska leading as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Nebraska 7 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for Eastern Michigan. We've been asking you all weekend long for your comments on our coverage of Nebraska baseball. We know there's a lot of competition in the television landscape for sports and for other programming, and we just want to know if you think this is important to you and what you think of the telecasts. Your feedback, pro or con, we'd sure enjoy hearing it. Any good stories you have about friends and family getting together to watch the games, if you mail them to us, you prefer the regular mail. NETV Sports, P.O. Box 83111, Lincoln, Nebraska 68501, or you can email it netvsports@unl.edu. Matt Hopper, Alex Gordon, Curtis Ledbetter here in the 7th against Trevor Carpenter, and a count of 1 ball and 1 strike on Matt Hopper.
And Matt's got to be looking to drive one here, Kevin. He had that strikeout last time up. I'm sure that his temperature went up a little bit after that at bat. He's looking to drive a pitch here in this 7th inning.
2 balls and 1 strike on Matt Hopper. Hopper sends that one deep towards center. Arnett going back, looking up, and it's gone. Number 21 for Matt Hopper, and Nebraska leads it 8-2.
And he left the batter's box, well, let's just call it irate last time up, and you knew when he came up this time that he was going to look to drive one, and he did, and he hit it right straight out to center field, about a third of the way up the berm there over the 395 side.
That one hung right in his wheelhouse, and Hopper knew what to do with it. Carpenter knew it was gone the minute he hit it. So did Hopper. And it's 8-2 Nebraska as Nebraska tries to come out of the loser's bracket and play their way into Sunday and take on SMS tomorrow at 1:05. Alex Gordon, the hitter. 1 in on the Hopper home run. Strike 1 to Gordon. 8-2 Nebraska here, top of the 7th inning in Lincoln.
That was career number 63 for Matt Hopper. Big 12 and Nebraska records.
1-1 on Alex Gordon. Alex has some home run pop, and you get the impression from Alex that he's going to develop more power as his career goes on. Just his swing and his demeanor. 6 homers on the year, but this is a guy that a lot of people expect to be playing professional ball someday, and that left-handed stroke, good eye at the plate, and Gordon sends that one deep into the night. No doubt about that one. There's that home run power right now into the parking lot, and it's 9-2.
I was just about to say, Kevin, it's 6'1" and 210 pounds. Alex Gordon has everything he needs physically to be the sort of power hitter you were just talking about, and lo and behold, goodbye.
Alex Gordon pounded this home run. This is one of the deepest home runs I've ever seen at this park.
Look at this here. He knows. Everybody knew. The right fielder out there, Ryan Gillespie, he just turned and waved at it. Said goodbye. Want to bring Roger Coryell out of the dugout, obviously. See him moving out to the pen, or to the mound, that is.
I think that'll bring Dave Perron out of the pen.
2 back-to-backs by Nebraska here in the 7th inning. And Kevin, let's look ahead here for Nebraska at 9-2, and the sort of just a sort of spark that's coming up right now with 2 back-to-back home runs by the 2 big bombers for Nebraska. They actually have 4 big bombers in the lineup. 2 of them come through right there as Trevor Carpenter is trying to shake some of this off, and the signal has been made, and it looks like Perron's going to come in.
So Dave Perron, who started yesterday against Nebraska, he'll make his way in from the bullpen again. And Perron's a busy man in Eagle Green. Well, while we have a chance, let's look at the top 10s across the country. The final polls of the regular season out this past week. Nebraska number 9 in the collegiate baseball poll, where Rice is the number 1 team. Georgia Tech, the number 10 team in collegiate baseball. They're out. Their season's over already. Sports Weekly has Nebraska at number 9. Florida State, the top team in Sports Weekly's poll. They lost a game in their regional. They're going to have to come back through the losers bracket. And in the Baseball America poll, Florida State, the number 1 team there. Nebraska ranked at number 10 in the Baseball America poll. Georgia Tech, number 7 in Baseball America. And Georgia Tech, their season, as I mentioned, is indeed over. Dave Perron, the new pitcher.
There he is. 5'10", 180 out of Holly, Michigan. We saw the numbers there. Well, there they come, 7-5. He had that loss to Nebraska yesterday. Taking a quick look at those numbers from yesterday's ball game. Perron pitched 2 1/3 innings, gave up 5 runs, all of those earned, and threw 62 pitches. And came back this afternoon and pitched against Coastal Carolina. Pitched 2/3 of an inning. Gave up no hits and no runs in that category, and also got the save. And also keep in mind that he pitched 13 innings in the MAC tournament just a little over a week ago. So he has been a very busy man here of late. And his arm is getting a workout, needless to say. Pitches about 85 to 86 with his fastball. Pretty good curveball, changeup. We saw that yesterday, and he also has a very good pickoff move to first base. But Huskers now with a 9-2 lead, and Perron on the mound.
9-2 Nebraska. If you're in the Lincoln area, there's a lot of tickets, general admission tickets available for tomorrow's championship game or games. Nebraska may or may not be there. Eastern Michigan may or may not be there, but we do know SMS will be there. And if you're in Lincoln or the surrounding area, plenty of general admission seats available to see the championship game tomorrow. Supposed to be another nice day in Lincoln tomorrow. Good day to come out and watch college baseball. 2 balls and a strike, and rather first pitch to Curtis Ledbetter is a ball. 1-0. Dave Perron, the left-hander. Top of the 7th inning. 9-2 Nebraska with the lead. And the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes to Ledbetter.
Huskers on the evening, 8 hits. 3 of those have been home runs. 1 by the guy at the plate here, the grand slam back in the 3rd inning. And then we just saw here a moment ago the back-to-back home runs by Alex Gordon and Matt Hopper.
Ledbetter way out in front, 3-0. Activity again in the Eastern Michigan bullpen. Dave Perron just onto the mound. Falls behind, 3 balls and no strikes. Strike 1 to Ledbetter. 3-1 the count. Home runs by Matt Hopper and Alex Gordon start the inning. And there's the bullpen. Brian Chadd starting to loosen up for the Eagles. The 3-1. Ball 4. Ledbetter draws a pass. He will head to first. Still nobody out. Top of the 7th, and Nebraska with a 7-run lead here over Eastern Michigan.
Mentioned Brian Chadd. Saw him also yesterday. Pitched an inning in the ball game against Nebraska. Gave up 5 hits in that 1 inning, and 4 runs were scored. All of those were earned runs off Brian Chadd. As Huskers continue to mount a threat here in the 7th inning.
9-2 Nebraska. Daniel Bruce looks at a strike, 0-1. Bruce on the evening struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd, and was picked off, and then grounded back to the pitcher in the 5th. 0 for 2 tonight for Daniel Bruce. And the 0-1 from Perron. Bruce sends a charge into that one, deep towards left. Back it goes, and it's gone. The 3rd home run of the inning, and Nebraska leads it 11-2.
He went down and got the pitch too. It was breaking down just a little bit. Daniel Bruce went down and got it and hit home run number 5. A 2-run shot to left center field.
Another blast. Daniel Bruce did it yesterday, Abe, and here he comes again.
Ball breaking down into him, and he just went down and got it, and that's the advantage of a right-handed hitter has, obviously, with that left-handed pitcher, and vice versa. With that breaking pitch coming into you all the time, and This is power. He smiled just a little bit there. He's excited.
And here comes Roger Coryell again. Dave Perron comes in, walks Ledbetter, allows the home run to Bruce, and they may make the move to the pen already. It's 11-2 Nebraska. There's just not much left in the Eastern Michigan bullpen.
Roger Coryell, the coach, out on the mound now. He said earlier on after the ball game, the first ball game today, in the interview, he said, well, we're going to just try to pitch this one by committee, and it's the best we can do. And that's the downside of not having depth on your pitching staff when you get into tournament play, because there's literally no tomorrow in several circumstances if you don't have the pitching depth. And Ryan Chad continues to warm up in the pen. Conversation goes on, and Coryell is going to leave, and there will not be a change. Nobody out here. Huskers have 4 runners across in this inning.
A little surprising to see no change made. I don't know if Roger Coryell has come out in this regional without making a pitching change.
I know why it's all working so well. See the guy on the left-hand side? That was Jerry Weber. He is the head trainer here at Nebraska, and he's probably warming up the bat somehow. There he is right there. Jerry, now we know the reason that all these home runs are coming. Jerry showed up. He's been around this program for a lot of years. He used to tape my ankles when I played football here a long time ago, Kevin.
The 0-1 to Fusilier. I don't know how to respond to thoughts of your ankles being taped.
A lot of tape. A lot of tape.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. 4 runs in for Nebraska here in the 7th. They've broken it open and lead 11-2.
Jerry was a student trainer at that time and finished up his degree, went on to get his advanced degree, and came back and spent in Nebraska ever since, and just does a tremendous job in that training room for all the athletes in this program.
Fusilier high in the air. This one's not going to have the distance to leave the yard, though. Ryan Arnett coming in, shallow center, makes the catch, and there's out number 1 in the 7th.
Took forever for that ball to come down. Fusilier just hit it very, very tall. We call that a major league pop-up, and that's what that was. And it seemed like an inordinate amount of time for it to come down. But again, well played by Arnett in the center field. Sometimes you get out there and it takes that long to come down, and you start seeing things when the ball's coming down. As Perron delivers again to the next hitter, and that's Matt Wells.
Matt Wells 0 for 3 tonight. Flied out in the 2nd, lined out in the 6th on a great play by the third baseman Derek Peterson. Now he hits a chopper to short. Bixler up, has time to throw across in time for out number 2. So Perron, after the home run by Daniel Bruce, has retired Fusilier and Wells, and now Jake Mullinax coming up for Nebraska.
Now batting, the second baseman.
You saw the reaction from Wells right there. He was not happy. That was a good pitch for him to hit, but he just did not get all of the baseball that he wanted, and hit it right at Bixler. Last time he hits the ball really, really hard. No luck there. This time, well, he hit it right at a guy. Easy play.
First pitch swinging. Jake Mullinax sends that one into foul ground. Ford trying to hustle over and make an acrobatic catch. He cannot do it. That would have been a really, really good play if Ryan Ford could get that one into the glove, but he just had too long of a run to make.
And then the ball came back to the other side, came back to his left side. He had to try to glove it going across the body, and that's just extremely difficult to do. So life still there for Mullinax at the plate.
No balls and 1 strike. Jake Mullinax doubled, drove in a run in the 4th. 1 for 3 tonight. 0-1, and now 0-2 as that pitch catches the inside corner. 11-2 Nebraska, trying to play on tomorrow and work their way back to a shot at a super regional. No balls, 2 strikes. Mullinax fights that one off. Second baseman Palazzolo has it, throw to first, safe. Mullinax able to beat it out. That'll be an infield hit. Good job by Palazzolo just to get to the ball. Mullinax has an infield single.
Second hit for Mullinax tonight. Wonderful play by that young man.
Now batting,
just not able to get the ball over there in time as Palazzolo. Terrific concentration and just a little tardy on the throw. but that's to be understood. That kind of play. That's a really great play by that youngster to catch up to it.
2 for 4. Jeff Lisey in now. Lisey drove in a run back in the 4th with his first single of the night. Also stole a base. His 20th of the year. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 down, 11-2. Huskers with the lead. Pitch inside and high for a ball. 2-0 now on Jeff Lisey.
We mentioned earlier that Perron's got a very decent move, a good move to first base. Jake Mullinak's getting a, well, not a very aggressive lead over there. Perron delivers.
3 balls, no strikes on Jeff Lisey. 2 down, top of the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th, if you're looking ahead for Eastern Michigan, it's the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the order against freshman Zach Kroenke. Strike called on Lisey. 3-1 the count. 2 down here, top of the 7th inning. 3 home runs in the inning for Nebraska, and they've broken it wide open. Low ball 4, and Lisey keeps the inning alive with a 2-out walk. First and second now for Simakaitis, the 9th man to bat in the Husker 7th.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 2.
Run around at second base. Jake Mullinex. Lisey down at first base. Simakaitis up. Has an opportunity here. And you might say, well, it's 11-2 lead. Game's pretty well in hand, but you never know. And plus, it's just an opportunity for Joe to work on the hitting and keep that bat swinging, keep it going well. Try to pick up an RBI here.
Mike Anderson's team hoping to play on till tomorrow. SMS waits the winner of this game. No balls and a strike on Joe Simakaitis. Runners at first and second. And outside for a ball, 1-1 the count. If Simakaitis keeps it alive, we're back to Matt Hopper again. He started this inning with a towering home run. The first of 3 in the inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Perron will step off. Past 10:30 now in the Central Time Zone. A very long day for Nebraska's players, but they have shown a lot of spirit. The 1-1, Simakaitis. Little pop to Ryan Ford at first. Makes the catch, and that retires Nebraska in the 7th. 9 men bat, 4 men score. 11-2 Nebraska, and it's stretch time in Lincoln.
After 4 in the top of the 7th, we head to the bottom half of the inning. Nebraska now in command, 11-2. And we don't want to look too far ahead, guys, but this performance by Zach Kroenke certainly gives the Huskers some terrific options going into tomorrow. Obviously, they're saving Jamie Rodriguez for the first game tomorrow against SMS. Should they win, and then Shurik would pitch the second game, and boy, that bullpen certainly looks fresh right now, given the performance of this freshman.
Now, Zach Kroenke has done the job and more that he was asked to do, Abe, as he now ventures into some uncharted waters in his collegiate baseball career.
Well, 2 times this year he has gone 6 innings, and that has been the max. Back in March against Cal Poly, he went 6 innings. And then in April against Kansas, he went 6 innings in that ball game. Most recently 5 against Creighton, a good outing against Creighton last time out. So again, as he takes it now into the 7th inning, he will need a new map to find out what's in the water here.
1-0 on Ryan Arnett. With that in mind, Nebraska's bullpen begins to loosen up. Chopper down the line, fair ball. Arnett rounding first. Bruce quickly to it, and he'll hold him at a single. Boy, great play again by Daniel Bruce in right field, getting to that ball very quickly, and Arnett thought about the turn but had none to make.
You know, again, you see the arm on Daniel Bruce, and he just hustled over there to limit this to a single, but he throws the ball. I know, Kevin, you're probably a little too young to remember this, but Roberto Clemente threw the ball just like Daniel Bruce. He just winds up and goes, and he had a great arm also. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Clemente when he just torques up and fires the baseball back into the infield.
Tim Klaus, the batter, looks at a pitch down low for a ball. Kroenke sat for a long top of the 7th inning, and we'll see how he performs here in the bottom of the inning.
Clemente wasn't playing when you weren't even born then, were you?
No, I've seen highlights.
Okay. I was going to say some things I didn't know about you there, brother.
My previous life. We'll get into that discussion another time. One ball, one strike. Tim Klaus, the batter, 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out both times to Jake Mullinax at second. Roll over, and Ryan Arnett back in. Arnett with good speed, 15 out of 19 in the stolen base department this year, but likely with a 9-run deficit, not straying too far from the bag. The 1-1. Chopper on the ground, might be 2. Gordon up with it. Throw to second for 1. On to first. Double play. 2 down now in the inning.
I was watching the reaction of Zach Kroenke on the play, too, and he was backing up first base on the play. And when it was finally completed, he just jumped a little bit and did the old hitch. And he was excited about that. That is really a tremendous effort here by Gordon. And then to turn it over here with Jake. And too bad Kroenke out of the picture there, but again, he was excited about his teammates making that play, and that was a good double play to turn.
6 2/3 innings now for Zach Kroenke. He's scattered 6 hits so far tonight. 1-0 the count on Brian Bixler. 11-2 Nebraska. Bottom of the 7th inning. Bixler, a single and a run scored back in the 30s, 1 for 3. 1-1 now on Bixler. SMS, they play tomorrow in the championship game, and that might be where playing in the Missouri Valley Conference actually helps a team like SMS. The Valley, you play 4 conference games each weekend. They're used to having to get ready for 4 starters. They have some depth in their starting rotation that other teams may not have. Now, Nebraska certainly has some depth in their starting rotation, but SMS, they'll be ready for that challenge tomorrow.
The only distinction to be made there is I think 2 of those games are 7-inning games and 2 are 9-inning games. But again, there are 4 games. Great play by Kroenke right there.
Throws to first for the out, and that retires the side. 7 innings in the book in Lincoln. Nebraska leads 11-2. Well, those 3 are hoping for a Nebraska win here tonight and a chance to move on to the championship round tomorrow. Nebraska on their way to doing that.
And we're waving back at you guys, so hang in there.
New left fielder now for Eastern Michigan is Jesse Cogswell. And a final score, 15-0. Auburn with a win. So Auburn moves on to take on Ohio State, but Auburn coming out of the losers bracket. They need to win 2 games tomorrow in order to maintain their number 4 national seed.
Need to beat Ohio State twice. Ohio State, a salty ball team, as we talked about earlier, 41 wins on the year and doing well in that regional. Big Matt Hopper going for the big one again. Big cut right there. Letting it loose. 2 for 4 tonight, as you see, and that big home run we talked about earlier.
Matt led off the 7th inning with a home run. He leads off the 8th here against Perron. Dave Perron in relief of Dale Hayes and Trevor Carpenter. It's been the same suspects on the mound all weekend long for Eastern Michigan. A thin pitching staff. But they were able to get a win earlier today against Coastal Carolina. There's Hopper sending another one deep into the night in center. That ball is gone. His 2nd home run of the night. And Nebraska leads it 12-2.
Well, the 4th inning strikeout made him mad. He came back and hit the tank, hit the home run in the 7th, and that made him so happy that he just hit another one. Matt Hopper just continues to pummel the baseball.
Home run number 22 on the year, RBI number 64. And Nebraska continues to work out some of its frustration from the loss earlier today on the pitching staff of Eastern Michigan.
And career home run number 64 for Matt Hopper as he continues to lengthen that lead, both as a Nebraska record and also a Big 12 record.
Roger Coryell making the extremely slow walk out to the mound. Roger will wait until the umpire comes out to tell him And now he makes the move to the bullpen. So Brian Chad will be the new Eastern Michigan pitcher. 4 home runs by Nebraska in the last inning plus. 3 home runs in the 7th and a home run again to lead off the 8th inning for Matt Hopper. He's led off the last 2 innings with home runs.
Incredible work by the Husker bats here in the late stages. Hopper, Alex Gordon, Daniel Bruce, Curtis Ledbetter, all doing damage with the home run ball to the Eastern Michigan pitching staff. And now Brian Chad to come in to see what he can do. Dave Perron. I guess the lights are up on the Perron house right now.
I would say so. Dave's day is done, perhaps the season done for Dave Perron, barring a major rally by Eastern Michigan here with an inning and a half to go. Nebraska, if they hang on, matches up with SMS on Sunday afternoon at 1:05. And there's the numbers for Brian Chad, the new left-handed pitcher in relief here for Eastern Michigan.
One and two with that 5.82 earned run average, Kevin, and again a fairly decent strikeout to walk ratio there. 43 innings, giving up 54 hits, however. And he has had some activity on the mound here the last few days, and he'll try to see if he can get the job done or at least slow things down here. Nebraska really attacking the baseball right now, getting after it big time. Brian Chad.
Alex Gordon will be the first guy that Chad faces. The dugout not nearly as tense as it was just a few hours ago. Nebraska, after losing to SMS, a lot of glum faces. Very business-like approach now in that Nebraska dugout as the Huskers realize their work is far from done. SMS waiting, and Southwest Missouri State got a tremendous pitching effort today from Brad Ziegler. Also Sean Markham at the back end of that bullpen. They've got some guys left down there that they feel like can get Nebraska's out. And Nebraska will have to win 2 games against SMS tomorrow in order to advance to the Super Regional.
Key now for Nebraska, obviously, is to preserve what they have here, move this game along, and then get some good rest tonight and be ready to go, ready to play tomorrow. They have really, you talk about stress and fatigue on the body here in the Big 12 tournament. They had 2 games they had to play. They had that 14 inning ball game against Baylor, and then had to come back, play again, played in the wee hours of the morning. So they know what it's like. It's moving on towards 11 o'clock here, 11:15. But again, get this game over, get this one in the win side, and then get some good rest tonight. Be ready to go tomorrow because a huge challenge awaits.
12-2 Nebraska. Alex Gordon will stand in against the left-hander Chad. Alex hit a monster home run deep into the night in right field his last time up. And he sends this one down the right field line, and that one has a chance, and it is foul. Just curving foul at the last moment. If it drops in there, it's extra bases easily for Gordon, perhaps a triple, but instead he'll trot back to the box and down in the count, 0-1.
I was thinking maybe we were going to see the first interpretive ruling as far as the home run or no home run ball down in that right field corner. Ball headed that way, but just not quite far enough as Alex Gordon makes his way back to the batter's box to regroup and go again.
No balls, 1 strike on Alex Gordon. And the 0-1 from Chad. Low for a ball, 1-1 the count. Gordon, very patient, very disciplined hitter. He'll wait for his pitch. He got it last time up and pounded it to right field and well over the fence. 2-1 now on Gordon. Bullpen activity beginning again for Eastern Michigan. Top of the 8th, 12-2, Nebraska leading. A look inside the bullpen. Aaron Olilla starting to loosen up. Aaron has pitched in all of 11 innings this season for Eastern Michigan. The 3-1 to Gordon. And that's a strike, 3-2.
Saw the catcher back there, Olivier. Ball kind of handcuffed him sometimes. That ball starts to move. Watch the reaction now by Olivier in the back there. So he kind of handcuffs. And maybe what happened there, the reaction might have been where he just caught the ball in the wrong part of the glove and he got a big sting in the hand.
Gordon fouls it away, 3-2 the count.
That will happen to you about 3 or 4 times a game, and you just don't like to let on because you don't want anybody to know that you got a little stinger in your hand back there. And you just hope it doesn't come at the time when you have to lead off an inning after the inning, after you come off the field.
3-2 again to Gordon. Fights it off and stays alive, 3-2 the count. Nobody out. Top of the 8th inning, 1 run in on the Hopper homer. Matt with 4 home runs in the regional. Gordon with a home run his last time up. The 3-2 pitch coming. Ball 4, he lost it. 12-2 Nebraska, looking for more here in the 8th inning. And Curtis Ledbetter, whose grand slam started it all in the 3rd. Ledbetter standing in, walked and scored in the 7th. He's 1 for 3 today, but that one, what a big one. Grand slam home run in the 3rd inning. Scoreless game at that point. And that really changed the tide for Nebraska offensively. Ledbetter looks at a pitch low for a ball, 1-0 the count. Curtis, picked by Cleveland in the 2000 draft. Went instead to junior college, Garden City Community College. Now to Nebraska. Ledbetter smacks it at 3rd. Derek Peterson up with it. Long throw across the diamond, and it's dropped by the first baseman Ford. It popped out of the glove, and we'll wait and see how that's scored. If he hangs on to it, he's out, and it's an error on Ford.
And Ledbetter just tommyhawks this one. He hit it about as hard as you can hit a baseball. Good job down there at 3rd base by Peterson. He has made some outstanding plays down there at the hot corner. And again, Ford just not able to squeeze it. Ball just coned right out of his glove for an error on the first baseman. What do we have here? We got new baseballs coming up. Yep.
Now batting 12-2, Nebraska leading by 10 and showing no sign of letting up here against Eastern Michigan. Top of the 8th inning. Bruce, a 2-run homer his last time up. Daniel's 5th home run of the year. 2 on, nobody out. Chad's first pitch, low, ball 1.
You know, Kevin, when a guy like Curtis Ledbetter hits a baseball like that, there's actually a sizzle to it. You can hear that ball sizzling at you. And we talk about the hot corner, other places on the field where you don't want to be when a ball's coming at you. But wow, coming off that aluminum bat, even though they've been deadened here the last few years to, you know, comply more with what the wooden bat does, but still, Ledbetter, you could hear that, you could see that, you could feel that down there on that field when that ball's coming at you. You hear that sizzle coming at you, and it gets your attention real quick.
That's why I'm up here in the booth. Well, there's
Great place to be.
Variety of reasons for that. That's one of many. 2 balls, no strikes. Strike 1 called as Bruce takes a breaking pitch. 2-1 now on Daniel Bruce. Runner at 2nd is Alex Gordon. At 1st base, Curtis Ledbetter. Daniel Bruce, the sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska. An all-around great high school athlete, and has become a real good college baseball player. Ball bounces in the dirt. Nice play by Olivier to keep it in front of him and holds the runners at their respective bases.
Catchers these days very nimble out there. You've got to be these days to keep things in order, just as you saw right there. Brent Olivier. I've watched the Nebraska coaches work with the catchers here before, and they work on all kinds of drills to keep them moving, keep them on the go, keep them quick, moving quickly on their feet, and the slide drills and all that. You've got to do that these days. You saw it pay off right there for Olivier.
3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Brian Chad, a left-handed freshman, on in relief for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan. 2 men on, nobody out. And the 3-1 coming to Bruce. Ball 4, and the bases are full of Huskers. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Brandon Fusilier. But first, Roger Coryell will head to the mound one more time.
Chad having trouble finding the plate, and when he does, look out as far as Nebraska hitters go. And Coryell is going to come out, have a little discussion, and who was it? Olilla?
Olilla was
down
in
to
the pen. Aaron Olilla may or may not be coming in. He's only pitched in 6 games all year long out of the 60 that Eastern Michigan has played. Bases loaded, nobody out. 8th inning. And Nebraska trying to hang on here and play till tomorrow. They're in great shape right now. And Roger Coryell now will go to the pen. So we'll get a chance to see for the first time in this regional Aaron Olilla. Become a member of Nebraskans for Public Television and help support programs like these. Our most important source of funding comes from you, and without your support, any TV cannot provide quality programming like college baseball. Help us bring more Nebraska sports to you. Call 1-800-634-6788 or log on to mynptv.org and click on Become a Member. Let's go downstairs. Larry Putney's standing by. Larry?
Well, guys, for the last several years, the bat boy for the Huskers is Taylor Anderson, the son of Mike Anderson. They call him T-Bone on the team. In the past, he's always traveled home and away to be the bat boy. Recently, though, he's made a select baseball team here in Lincoln, and so he doesn't make all the trips that he used to. In fact, guys, earlier this year, a 4-inning game, T-Bone was out of the mound throwing, struck out 8 in 4 innings. What a dream for kids to be able to travel with the baseball team, throw the ball every day with some great baseball players, and just learn the game.
Absolutely, Larry. And Taylor, as I said earlier on in some of our telecasts, in his 4th year as a Nebraska bat boy. And, you know, mark my words, I think we talked about this, Kevin, before. Somewhere down the road, you're going to be reading about Taylor Anderson as a ball player, because this is an experience for that young man that shows him and teaches him and gives him that hand-on experience to be around. So a great atmosphere. So Taylor Anderson, what a story.
The new pitcher for the Eastern Michigan Eagles, we mentioned at 8, it's Aaron Olilla.
From Brighton, Michigan, 6'4", 240 pounds. There are the numbers. ERA way up there where you don't want it. Last time out, he pitched against Michigan back in the middle of May 14th. 3 1/3 innings in relief. 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, all of those earned, and upped his ERA to 11.45 with that run. So Aaron Olilla will step in. He's only had, as Kevin said, 6 appearances. Taylor, there he is. Stand up, young man. Always has that helmet on.
He may get to hit tonight the way Nebraska's playing. He may get a chance to swing the bat. Instead, he's going to beat up John Gross in the dugout. 12-2 Nebraska leading, bases loaded. Brandon Fusilier will be lifted for Drew Anderson. Now, Drew Anderson will get his first swings of the weekend. Anderson, the left-handed hitter from Kearney, Nebraska. Pitches upstairs for a ball, 1-0 the count. Drew hitting .234 on the season, 3 homers, 18 runs batted in. He can add to that number here with the bases loaded. Nobody out. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Olilla taking his time. And the 1-0. Strike called, 1-1 the count on Anderson. Matt Wells will be lifted. Chad Steele will pinch hit for Wells. And give Wells a breather here for the final couple of innings.
The hitter Drew Anderson, another of the great athletes that have come to Nebraska to play baseball, as Olilla far and wide on that pitch. But again, a great trackster out at Kearney, 6'2", 195. He was a gold medal winner, all-class gold medal, all-medal winner, at 110 meters and the 330-meter intermediate hurdles. which is a killer of a race, I might add.
2-1 to Anderson. Swings at a pitch in the dirt. 2-2 the count. Nobody out, top of the 8th inning. Bases full of Huskers. Gordon at third, Ledbetter at second, Daniel Bruce at first, and Drew Anderson the pinch hitter for Brandon Fusilier. Anderson waits the 2-2. It's upstairs for ball 3. Full count now on Drew Anderson.
Still trying to pick up what sort of pitch that Olilla is trying to deliver up there, Kevin. He's just not quite sure what that is. If you figure it out, let me know which place.
I will. I'll pass you a note. Olilla has not had too many pitches that have been good pitches this year with earned run average near 12. But because the bullpen is shallow at best, there's not a lot of options. Although activity begins again for Eastern Michigan in the pen. Another left-hander up. There's a peek into the pen. It's Tim Gray starting to throw down there as Anderson fouls it off. Gray's pitched in 7 games this season for Eastern Michigan. Giving everybody a taste of regional play here tonight. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Anderson stays alive, fouls it away.
Drew Anderson just trying to make the most of this at bat. Hasn't played much here of late. Tried to get his cuts in, tried to make it work for his average and for his team and for the runs. His 2 Husker runners are out there at second and third.
3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Wave and a miss, strike 3, and Drew Anderson for the first out of the 8th inning is out on strikes.
Curveball that Olilla, it appeared this time, had good command of this curveball. I think the others, that's the old 12-6 curveball right there, and a pretty good one at that. But I think the other pitches that we saw were just curveballs that he did not have command of. The ball just got away from him, and they sailed up tall and wide. So a strikeout for Olilla, and Chad Steele steps in now, hitting for Matt Wells.
Steele hitting .283 this season in 53 at-bats. No homers, 3 RBI. Steele will come in behind the plate. Looks at a pitch high for a ball. Chad Steele, a medical redshirt last season after having a shoulder injury. Got a good bat, says Mike Anderson, a line drive hitter. Not a power guy, but a guy that can certainly shoot it into the gap. 1 ball, no strikes, bases loaded. And a pitch in there for a strike, 1-1 the count.
Steele, a redshirt freshman out of Omaha Gross, 5'10", 190.
One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Chad Steele. His first at bat of the regional. Good block by Olivier to keep that ball there. 2-1 the count on Chad Steele.
And like his teammate Alex Gordon, an excellent football player in high school, Chad Steele. All-State twice. Honorable mention All-State twice, and also was a power lifter in high school.
2 balls, 1 strike. Steele looks at ball 3. Steele just 3 RBI on the year. A walk here would give him his 4th. The bases are loaded. 12-2 Nebraska.
This Husker crowd once more. 12-2 the count, as Kevin just said, and they're looking for more right now as that ball's outside.
Ball 4, RBI number 4 for Chad Steele as Alex Gordon comes home with the 13th Husker run of the night. And the hit parade continues. The barrage of runs continues. And Nebraska appears to have this one well in hand in the top of the 8th inning with a 13-2 lead on the scoreboard.
Well, the Huskers scored 16 runs in the first game against Eastern Michigan. That was yesterday, and they're on 13 now and aiming to up that ante a little bit here as Jake Mullinax stands in. Huskers yesterday, 16 runs, 20 hits. They're at 13-11 today.
2 for 4, Jake Mullinax. Down in the count, 0-1. And he goes around. Strike 2 is called. No balls, 2 strikes on Mullinax. Bases loaded, 1 out. 2 runs in here in the top of the 8th inning. This game now 3 hours old between Eastern Michigan and Nebraska. We've seen some long games in this NCAA regional. Most of the games have been at the 3-hour mark or longer, which is a little different than most of the regular season games. We saw those coming in around 2:15, 2:30. Not in the postseason. The 0-2. Mullinax smokes it into right field. That's a base hit. 1 run will score. They'll hold Bruce at third, and Nebraska leads it 14-2.
Another RBI from Mullinax, and this was great hitting right here, because you're talking about that wicked curveball, that big dropping curveball. Watch this. Look at that thing going down. As we say, 12-6. So you're talking about the face on the clock, 12-6, straight down, and Mullinax stays with that pitch, keeps his head right down on the ball, and then drives it into right field and picks up the RBI and another run here. 14-2, Huskers lead.
Jeff Lizey, the batter, his 6th at-bat of the day. Officially 2 for 4. He walked his last time up. Lizey looks at a pitch low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Jeff Lizey had an RBI way back in the 4th inning. Nebraska here top of the 8th, leading at 14-2. 1 ball, no strikes on Lizey. 2-0 now on Jeff. Four runs in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th for Nebraska, 4 in the 7th, and 3 so far here in the 8th for NU. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 2-0 to Lizey. Smoked to left field. Cogswell coming over on the line. Fair ball. It drops and rolls past Cogswell. 1 run scores. 2 runs will score. They'll hold Mullinax at third, and it's 16-2. A 2 RBI double for Jeff Lizey.
Cogswell trying to get over there as fast as he could, but just about 2 paces too short. As Lizey, he's looking, he's thinking maybe this is going to be an out, but Cogswell just cannot get over there in time. Maybe about 5 paces too short. And 2 runs home on the play. So Lizey, that makes 3 RBIs on the evening, runs him up to 36 for the season.
Joe Simakaitis 0 for 5 tonight, had a sacrifice and an RBI, and that's pretty much it for Joe. 0 for 4 officially. Reached on an error and scored in the 3rd. So Joe has had a rough night tonight. He'd like to break out of it here. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Matt Hopper waiting on deck. He started this inning with a home run. Strike called to Joe Simakaitis. 1-1 the count. Joe Simakaitis, the sophomore from St. Louis. Same high school as Yogi Berra, Joe Garagiola. Someday maybe they'll say Joe Simakaitis in that same vein.
Joe's going to have to write a book. Stay with those guys too. Get to the major leagues and write a book.
One thing at a time.
Yep, exactly.
Get a hit here against Eastern Michigan, and then we'll skyrocket from there. Which just breaks outside of the zone. 2-2 the count on Simakaitis. Hopper waiting on deck. 2 home runs tonight for Matt Hopper. The 2-2. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Joe Simakaitis. Olilla struggling in relief. 16-2 Nebraska. The 3-2. Wave and a miss. Strike 3. Simakaitis is out on strikes. And now Matt Hopper will bat again in the inning.
Just a fastball moving in on Simakaitis. Not particularly heated up, but Joe just not able to catch up to it right here. Records out number 2. I was just looking around the stadium also, Kevin. The crowd's kind of stuck with this thing here tonight, too. They're going to walk mad, as you might expect here.
Well, I don't know, 16-2.
Yeah, pitch to him. Let it go.
Maybe you just let him see what you can do. Righty against righty. But Roger Coryell says, let's put him on base. You want to keep it at 16 and not risk it going to 19. And so Matt Hopper will draw the intentional walk. And it'll be the 51st walk of the year for Matt Hopper. So Hopper will trot to first. And the bases are loaded now for Alex Gordon.
Yeah, you load him up. You've got that empty spot over there. Fundamentally, yeah, that's the way to go. Pitch to him and get it going.
But it's 16-2. I think is what you wanted to say there.
Well, it's 16-2, and you've got Alex Gordon coming up. You've got Curtis Ledbetter coming up. You got Daniel Bruce coming up, and it doesn't get any better.
Gordon, big swing and a miss. Strike one, 0-1 the count on Alex Gordon. He walked and scored earlier in the inning. Hit a home run last inning. Seems like Nebraska's been batting for about an hour here. It's the 11th man to bat in the inning. And Gordon down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. 16-2 Nebraska. Eastern Michigan will have their numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters up in the 8th inning. Zach Kroenke's been sitting for a long time here in this top of the 8th. Gordon smacks it at second. Good hop for Palazzolo. Throw to first in time, and that retires the side. 11 men come to the plate. 5 men score. 16-2 Nebraska. Along with Adrian Fiala, Larry Putney, I'm Kevin Kugler. Thanks for being with us as we creep towards 11:15 in the Central Time Zone. 16-2 Nebraska dominating Eastern Michigan here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and barring a major collapse, Nebraska will be playing tomorrow at 1:05 against SMS. If SMS wins, they're on to the Super Regional. If Nebraska wins, it's game 2 tomorrow, and we'll have all of the Nebraska baseball games right here for you tomorrow afternoon beginning at 1 o'clock on Nebraska ETV. Tony Palazzolo will lead it off against Zach Kroenke. Nebraska's starter still on the hill as we start the bottom of the 8th inning.
Defensive changes for Nebraska. Drew Anderson now in left field. Chad Steele behind the plate in place of Matt Wells. Anderson taking over for Fusilier, who had taken over for Ledbetter. I beg your pardon. That is not correct. It was Fusilier. I beg your pardon.
1-2 the count on Tony Palazzolo. Derek Peterson and Ryan Goleski to follow here in the 8th inning. Zach Kroenke, the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kroenke strikes out Palazzolo for the first out in the 8th.
Outstanding to see Kroenke still on the mound, as we told you earlier on in the broadcast. Longest he had gone prior to this outing was 6 innings. He had done that twice, and now he has taken it on here into the 8th inning, and he's still looking very good out there on the mound, Kevin.
7 1/3 innings pitched. His first strikeout since the first inning. Only his 2nd K of the night. But Nebraska has to be ecstatic with this start from Zach Kroenke. Better than Rob Childress could have ever anticipated tonight. Peterson fouls it away. Derek Peterson, the batter. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Walked in the first. The first inning, the real stumbling block for Zach Kroenke tonight. If we can look back that far, he had the bases loaded with just 1 out and got out of that inning. That was the turning point for that young man.
Absolutely, and was able to stay in there. He had a kind of a hiccup in the 3rd inning also, but able to stay in there even after that. And he has retired the side in 5 of the 7 innings he has pitched, and has the first out here in the 8th.
Well, even more impressive when you consider what Eastern Michigan has done in the tournament offensively. 16 runs, or rather 11 runs against Nebraska, 9 runs earlier today against Coastal Carolina. That ball charged towards center. Lisey going back, still going back. He's got room, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Peterson, good contact, but a line out to Lizzie for the third time tonight. He's out to Jeff Lizzie.
Number 20.
Well hit baseball right here. You see Peterson getting every bit of it. Maybe just a little bit too tall, but Lizzie is there. And as I said earlier on in the show, when you have Jeff Lizzie in center field, you're golden. This guy's golden also.
Nebraska's held him in check tonight, just 1 for 3. A single in the first inning for Ryan Goleski, who has 3 homers in the tournament and has been the real catalyst for Eastern Michigan. But Kroenke has had his number tonight. A lefty throwing to a big right-hander like Goleski. He has shut him down to this point. 1-1 the count on Ryan Goleski. 2 out here, bottom of the 8th inning. 16-2 Nebraska.
Goleski had that single back in the first inning, and it was a pretty good pitch. And he went down and got to the inside and low, and put it into left field past Simbakaitis. But other than that, he has had Goleski's number, as Kevin said, and that's a big accomplishment because this young man is a quality baseball player.
2-1. Goleski waits, and the delivery by Kroenke. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Ryan Goleski. Nebraska's bullpen quiet. No activity. It's Kroenke's game right now. They'll let him finish it out perhaps tonight. Would be his first career complete game. He's already gone longer than any time in his college career. Just a true freshman. What a job tonight. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Back to the screen it goes, and Goleski is going to reach first on the strikeout. Chad Steele thought it was tipped foul, but it is instead a strikeout, and he'll reach.
Ball down in the dirt. I suspect that will be ruled a wild pitch. Strikeout on a wild pitch.
So the 3rd strikeout of the day for Zach Kroenke. And now we've got a pinch runner coming in. It'll be Todd Kimling, who will come in to run for Ryan Goleski. The junior from Lake Orion, Michigan, will leave, and he's going to be named to the all-region team, no question about it. Ryan Goleski has had a fabulous regional. So now Kimling will run at first with 2 down here in the 8th inning. And Brent Olivier, 0 for 3 today, will stand in. 16-2 Nebraska.
There's Goleski in the background, catching up to his teammates. Fly ball into Matt Hopper's glove, it looks like. Yep.
Fouled out to Matt Hopper to end the 8th inning. Through 8 in Lincoln. Nebraska 16 and Eastern Michigan 2.
You're watching NETV.
At the 30th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards, the PBS children's series Reading Rainbow was honored with 2 Emmys, including Outstanding Children's Series. This is the 7th time Reading Rainbow has won in this category, and is one of many other Emmy Awards we've received for the program. Nebraska Educational Telecommunications co-produces Reading Rainbow, a television series that encourages children to read. And we hope that as Nebraskans, you share our pride in serving children everywhere and in receiving yet another Emmy Award honor for Reading Rainbow.
You're watching NETV and NETV Digital Television, a service of Nebraska Educational Telecommunications.
16-2 Nebraska leading here as we head to the top of the 9th inning. 16 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for Nebraska. 2 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for Eastern Michigan. Well, we sure appreciate you being with us tonight throughout the weekend. Hopefully we'll have a couple of games for you tomorrow. We want to get your thoughts, your feedback on our broadcasts of NCAA baseball, not only tonight, but all season long and for the past few years. Just send your comments along, good or bad, to NETV Sports, P.O. Box 83111, Lincoln, Nebraska 68501. Or you can email it, like Deanne and Jason did from Grant, Nebraska, at netvsports@unl.edu. Deanne and Jason are both recent graduates of UNL. They've moved out to Grant, Nebraska to pursue their careers. And while at UNL, they made it a priority to go to as many baseball games as possible. I'm reading from their email now. For my father's birthday, I even managed to secure some elusive tickets to the first regional game at Buck Belcher a few years ago. NU baseball is especially important to my family because my father's father was the catcher for the Huskers back in the late 20s, early 30s. Since we moved out here to Grant, it's not near as easy to get back to Lincoln for a game. We count on your coverage to help us feel like we're still a part of the game back home. Thank you so much for broadcasting the Husker games. It's definitely something we pencil in on our schedules and make time for. From Deanne and Jason in Grant, and we sure appreciate those comments, and it really makes us feel good that we are able to bring this to everybody in the state. Send your comments along, netvsports@unl.edu.
Kevin, the response is great, but it's also great that how the family connection with Nebraska baseball has persisted all these years, and this keeps it going. That's just wonderful to hear that.
Ball 3 to Curtis Ledbetter. Ledbetter, then Bruce, then Drew Anderson in the Husker top of the 9th inning. Huskers the visiting team, so we will play it out here at Hawks Field tonight. And it's ball 4. Ledbetter draws a leadoff walk. The pitcher, Aaron Olilla, walks the first man, and now Daniel Bruce will come up for Nebraska here in the 9th inning. Nobody out, a runner at first, and Nebraska leading by 14.
Olilla having problems since he has arrived, getting the ball over the plate, and then when he does, which is often the case, Nebraska again a well-seasoned, well-coached hitting baseball team, as you see the big cut right there by Bruce.
0-1 on Daniel. Last time up, Daniel Bruce walked and scored in the 8th. 2-run homer in the 7th. A couple of walks tonight. Daniel 1 for 3 with a couple of runs scored and 2 RBI. No balls and a strike. Daniel Bruce with Ledbetter at first. The 0-1 in the dirt, gets away from Olivier in a competitive situation. Ledbetter likely would have been off with the break, but Nebraska not trying to rub it in here. They just keep him right at first.
Well, you don't want to rub it in, obviously, Kevin, and secondly, you don't want to take a chance on moving on down there and maybe making a play at second base, having to slide into the bag and risk an injury of some sort.
1 ball, 1 strike. In the dirt again. Olivier with the stop. 2 balls and 1 strike. Daniel Bruce the batter. 16-2 Nebraska. And a 2 ball and 1 strike count on Nebraska's right fielder. Ledbetter at first. Olilla's 2-1 pitch. Ball 3. 3-1 the count. And activity again in the Eastern Michigan bullpen.
As a hitter up there, you still want to go up and take your licks. Important to keep that. It's important to keep that rhythm down as a hitter.
Pinch runner at first for Joe Gullion for Curtis Ledbetter. There's Joe. So Joe Gullion at first base. Ledbetter's night is done. And ball 4. So 2 walks, Bruce and Gullion, first and second, nobody out. And Drew Anderson, the batter.
Drew Anderson.
He will
16-2 Nebraska.
He will step in for his second at bat on the night. He came in to replace Fusilier back in the 8th inning. And he's going to again try to get his legs in here as a hitter. You want to keep doing that, keep that rhythm moving as he sees the curveball come right over the plate. Good curveball again. I'll tell you, if Olilla ever gets control of some of these things, he could be a pretty tough pitcher, but just tough as far as command of his pitches to get them over.
2 walks here to start the 9th inning. Gullion with the leadoff walk, and now Anderson down the line. That's a fair ball. Rounding third and heading for home is Joe Gullion. And a single for Drew Anderson, his 19th RBI of the year, and Nebraska continues to pour it on. They lead 17-2.
Went after that curveball, did Drew Anderson, and pulled it perfectly down the line. See, again, that ball just did not break there, and that'll bring out Roger Coryell for another visit to the mound. And I would expect another pitching change.
Roger takes his time when he talks to his pitchers. He'll go to the pen. And the new pitcher coming in, I believe, is going to be Tim Gray. We'll check it as soon as there he is. That's because it is Tim Gray in his 8th appearance of the year coming right now. Tim Gray ready to check in. Gray, the freshman from Jackson, Michigan, will make an appearance now for Eastern Michigan. Nobody out in the 9th inning. Runners at the corners for Nebraska in a 17-2 ball game.
Lillo will step aside. He moves off the mound as Tim Gray comes on in.
Well, Thursday night at 7 Central on NETV. Tune into Backyard Farmer to get all your lawn and garden questions answered. UNL's cooperative extension experts can help you deal with anything you're growing or don't want growing. Whether it's crabgrass in the front yard or tomatoes in the backyard, watch Backyard Farmer to find out how to get rid of it, keep it, or grow it. It's Thursday night at 7 Central time on NETV.
I'm going to have them come out to my house and tell me what I'm doing wrong with the tomato plants, and I'm serious about that. There's the new pitcher. That's Tim Gray, 6'2", 210. He's a freshman. Last time out, May 14th against Michigan. Just pitched 2/3 of an inning there. And there are the numbers. 0-1 on the year with a 9.82 earned run average. And I just have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pitcher.
6th pitcher of the night for Eastern Michigan. Started off with Hayes, low those many hours ago. And then a steady stream. Carpenter came in, followed by, who's the next guy that came in after Carpenter?
Dave Perron.
Perron saw a little bit of action, and then Brian Chad, and then Olilla, and now Tim Gray. So Gray with his 8th appearance of the year in the regional. Would you or your business like to help bring programs like these to NETV? You can become a corporate sponsor. Along with other Nebraska businesses, your contributions can support quality programming like you're seeing tonight. Help support NETV by calling 1-800-634-6788.
Gray mostly in relief this year, but his last 2 times out against Oakland May 6th and Michigan on May the 14th. He lasted 4 2/3 innings against Oakland. Gave up 5 hits and 3 runs, all of those earned. And against Michigan, just 2/3 of an inning, as I said a moment ago. 3 hits, 3 runs, all of those earned.
1 ball, no strikes to Chad Steele. He walked his only time at the plate today.
Productive. He got an RBI, though. You like that.
Steele takes an inside strike, 1-1 the count. Chad Steele to be followed by Jake Mullinax, and then back to the top of the order and Jeff Lisey. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, 1 run in here in the 9th. 17-2 Nebraska, and 2-1 the count on Steele. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runners at the corners, Bruce at 3rd, Drew Anderson at 1st. The 2-1. Steele smokes that one towards left field. Cogswell going back, makes the catch, tagging, and no run as Cogswell throws it back in quickly, and everybody holds. So 1 out now in the 9th inning as Steele flies out to Cogswell in left.
Number 5, Jay
Cogswell catching up to that well-hit baseball off the bat of Chad Steele. Chad, a big, strong guy, 190 pounds, but again, state power lifter back in 2001 in high school as Cogswell pitches it on into the infield. 1 out here. Runners at the corners.
Jake Mullinax, couple of hits today, and he will look at a pitch low for a ball. 1-0 the count on Mullinax. Runners at the corners, now 1 out, top of the 9th. 17-2 Nebraska. And the pitch low for a ball, 2-0. Well, tomorrow, 8:105, Nebraska and SMS will match up in game 1 of the championship game.
Bring your thermos.
Be here a while.
We'll need it.
2 balls, no strikes.
Good feeling for the Huskers coming on. We'll see, but could be another long day at the ballpark, but that's just fine.
SMS made it a long day earlier for Nebraska with a 4-2 win behind a great pitching performance from Ziegler and Markham combining to really stymie Nebraska's offense. A dose of Eastern Michigan pitching has cured all the day of the Nebraska offense here. 17 runs in game 2 of a very long day for Nebraska baseball. And now the Huskers will have to come back and try to do it again tomorrow afternoon. We'll be with them at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here on Nebraska ETV as Larry and Adrian and I, along with our entire crew, will come back and start it again. Although we keep going in this game, we may just stay right in the booth.
I have a surprise for you. In between innings here, we made a phone call.
Yeah.
A few rollaways are on the way. We're just going to park it right here tonight.
And in about 4 hours, we'll be back up again.
I get the pillow.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Jake Mullinax. 1 down in the 9th inning. Runners at the corners. And Mullinax with a base hit to left field. Anderson will hold at second. The run comes home. Daniel Bruce scoring the 18th Nebraska run. RBI 21 for Jake Mullinax. And the hit parade continues for Nebraska.
For Jake, I believe his 4th hit on the night. He had a double in the 4th inning. Single 7, single 8, single 9 RBIs.
Number 1,
3 RBIs on the evening. So Jake continues. He loves this Eastern Michigan pitching, as we said earlier on in the show. 3 for 3 yesterday with 2 RBIs, and tonight he has worked it. Am I reading that right there, Kevin? You got him for 4 hits?
I do.
Yeah, 4 hits and 6 at bats.
Jeff Lisey, little chopper on the infield. Pick up, throw to first in time for the 2nd out. Lisey retired as the pitcher makes the play. Moving up to second is Mullinax, and over to third goes Drew Anderson. So 2 down now in the inning for Joe Simakaitis.
Number 2, Joe Simakaitis.
Lisey just a little slow roller there, and Gray easy out and easy out again. You don't ask hitters to go up there and just bag the at bat. They got to go up and be competitive, and that's what Huskers trying to do. You saw Jake step up. Lisey, believe me, trying to get a base hit.
Joe Simakaitis with the 0 for today. He'd love to get a hit here. 0 for 5 with a sacrifice bunt and an RBI. So Joe wearing the collar today, hoping to get a hit here in the 9th inning. 18-2 Nebraska. 18 runs on 15 hits. 2 runs on 6 hits for Eastern Michigan tonight.
I think Jake Mullinax will probably send a thank you card to Eastern Michigan when this is all said and done, Kevin. 3 for 3 yesterday, and 4 for 6 today. 7 for 9, 5 RBIs. It's a nice little 2-day production.
Not too shabby.
Well, many ball players that would turn that down.
The 0-2 to Simakaitis. Breaking pitch just kept it alive. Count will hold at no balls and 2 strikes. Runner at third is Drew Anderson. At second, Jake Mullinax. 2 more runs in the inning. The last 3 innings, Nebraska has scored 11 runs against Eagle pitching. 18-2 Nebraska. They will move on to play SMS tomorrow. Simakaitis fouls it away, and it'll end up back out on the field as Simakaitis stands in again against the 6th Eagle pitcher, Tim Gray.
As I talk about being competitive at the plate, even in a game like this, well out of hand. But again, you just want to keep your stroke going up there at the plate. That's what Joe's trying to do.
The 0-2 gets away, and it actually knocks the glove off of the hand of Brent Olivier, the catcher. The mask came off, the glove came off, everything came off.
I thought we were going to have a major problem right here as the glove comes in there. You see it, everything's going every which way. What was that toy that used to explode when you touch one part of it? Looked like
it's a burlesque
Something
show
like
here,
that,
right? Everything's coming off.
Sometimes catchers get a little groggy after a long ball game and 18 runs being scored on you, and things are looking pretty dim.
The 1-2. Simakaitis high in the air, shallow center field. Arnett coming on, and he'll make the catch, and that retires the Huskers in the 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th coming. Nebraska in control, 18-2.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is NETV and NETV Digital Television.
(18-2) Nebraska, 3 outs away from moving on to tomorrow. 1:05 first pitch between NU and SMS. Nebraska needs to win the first game to move on to a championship game between UNL and SMS. The winner of that game, if SMS wins game 1, they're on to the Super Regional. Nebraska needs 2 wins to move on in the postseason. But they stay alive tonight, leading 18-2. Barring a major rally, they will move on tomorrow.
Ball bats alive for Nebraska. 18 runs, 15 hits. Also the shining moment for Zach Kroenke on the mound, the freshman out of Omaha Northwest. Longest outing he had prior to this ball game was 6 innings twice. But now he is fixing on closing out a 9-inning appearance here, a complete game. Scattered 6 hits and just give up 2 runs. We're a bit premature in giving those numbers, but they are the current numbers for Zach Kroenke, and he's going to try to win a complete game right here, Kevin, and it's just an outstanding effort by Zach.
Bart Patterson, the batter, his first at bat, and he ropes that one into the left center field gap. Coming over to cut it off is Anderson, and Patterson will be held to a long single. So Bart Patterson comes in with a pinch hit single. For Patterson, just his 27th at-bat of the year and his 7th hit of the season, but a solid single to left center field.
Well, he stayed right down on that ball and rocked it very, very well. Bart Patterson, pretty good-sized young man out there on the base paths. You're not thinking comeback here, are you?
They'll need a few more than one base runner. 1-0 the count.
It all has to start somewhere, fans.
Luke Beeler, the batter. He's 0 for 3 today. Kroenke, the pitch sent into center field. That's a base hit. Oh, look at you bring it up, and here they come. Single to center, and the first 2 men are on against Zach Kroenke here in the 9th inning.
The first of 2 dour predictions here on the day, and we won't tell you what the first one was, but
pinch runner coming in. We'll change the subject quickly. Pinch runner coming in. Brad Robat, the catcher, will come in and run for Luke Beeler. So 2 on, nobody out. And Luke Beeler gets a good hand from his teammates as he heads off. The senior playing in his final game, and he ends it the way you want to end it, with a base hit.
Absolutely. Go out the right way, and he certainly does. Gives way to a pinch runner, and that pinch runner is a catcher. How many times has that happened in your broadcast career, Kevin?
None. I'm guessing it didn't happen much in your catching career either.
Mark that down in the book.
Matt Moffitt, the pinch hitter for Eastern Michigan, takes a strike. Moffitt batting for Ryan Arnett. Matt, the freshman from Chelsea, Michigan. A .275 hitter this year. And the 0-1, Moffitt fouls it away. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, 2 on here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. 18-2 Nebraska. Zach Kroenke trying to pitch the complete game. The 0-2. Wave and a miss, strike 3, and Moffitt the first out of the 9th inning.
Got Moffitt to go for a ball a little bit up in the zone. See, the ball's way up in the zone, actually. And Moffitt, no chance at all. If he hits this thing, it's going straight up in the air. But he got him to miss it, and out number 1 is recorded. Kroenke 2 outs away now from a complete game victory as a freshman.
Jesse Cogswell, the hitter. Cogswell, 0 for 1 on the night. Walked and grounded out. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 0-2 the count on Cogswell. Ryan Bixler, the top of the order, waiting on deck. 1 out, 2 on. Bottom of the 9th inning. Nebraska leading by 16. The 0-2 just misses on that outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jesse Cogswell.
And again, Kroenke working on the fundamentals that he knows that he has to perform, and it's going to, that's going to put a pitch up and away. But a 0-2 count as that ball skitters on into the Nebraska dugout. But again, just because of the circumstances, they're an 18-2 lead. You still work on those solid fundamentals that you always need to perform. And that's what Kroenke is doing.
Aaron Marsden went the distance in the loss earlier today. Now Kroenke trying to go the distance here. The bullpen will be well rested for the potential of 2 games tomorrow. Strike 3 called, and Cogswell is down on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Zach Kroenke.
Looked like the curveball coming right into right to the inside part of the plate. Indeed, it is a strike. Excellent pitch by Kroenke. We know that he has a real good curveball. They'll come with the slider and sometimes with the changeup.
Let's go down to Larry Putney. Larry.
Guys, other regional action. The regional taking place in North Carolina State. Western Carolina knocked off Virginia Commonwealth 2-0. The real story in the game is that Brandon McDowell took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. He gave it up in the 9th. A 1-hit win for Brandon McDowell.
No one-hitters here tonight. 18-2. Nebraska leading.
Boy, it's tough to lose a 0-0 in the 9th.
Fouled away, and now Eastern Michigan down to the last strike of their season. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Zach Kroenke on the cusp of completing his first game as a collegiate pitcher. His finest performance of the year. At a time when Nebraska needed him the most. No balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3, strikes out the side, and Nebraska lives to see another day. The Huskers will play on to tomorrow to take on SMS at 1 o'clock in Lincoln. 18-2, Nebraska wins it. Your final score. More from Hawks Field in a moment.
NETV sports coverage of the 2003 NCAA Baseball Regionals is brought to you in part by the Nebraska Heart Institute, a provider of heart and vascular care at sites throughout Nebraska. A hospital dedicated to heart patients, now located at 91st and Highway 2 in Lincoln. Fairbury Brand Meats, from home plate to your plate. Information available at fairburybrand.com. And by Pinnacle Sports Productions, home of Husker radio broadcasts.
2 expeditions, a century apart. 1 destination, Alaska. The Harriman, Alaska expedition retraced. Coming soon to PBS.
Coming soon to NETV. You're watching NETV and NETV Digital Television, a service of Nebraska Educational Telecommunications.
18-2, Nebraska wins it. Adrian Fiala tomorrow, 1 o'clock. You and I will be back here along with Larry Putney and our entire Nebraska ETV sports production crew for what we hope will be game 1 of 2 tomorrow between Nebraska and SMS. It should be an entertaining day of baseball. Your thoughts on the matchup tomorrow as Nebraska and the Bears rematch?
Well, it was good to see the Husker ball bats come alive here this evening, Kevin. 18 runs, 15 hits. The power of the ball bats came back. Good to see that, because I think the Huskers are going to need every bit of their repertoire tomorrow against SMS to be successful. The best story tonight, though, however, is Zach Kroenke. The freshman comes through with a complete game victory, scatters 8 hits around the ballpark tonight, gives up just 2 runs, 1 walk, and we'll see the final strikeout here in a second as Mike Anderson is giving his team encouragement for tomorrow. And there it is right there, a swing and a miss by the final hitter from Eastern Michigan, and that was Brian Bixler. And that did it for Zach Kroenke, and what a masterful job he did. He still had a tough start, but he came through and got it done. So I think the Huskers are sparked and ready to go for tomorrow, Kevin, and pitching is in their favor.
Kroenke and Marsden today. Marsden loses the first game, but he goes the distance. Kroenke goes the distance tonight. The bullpen is ready. The team is ready. Nebraska and SMS, the regionals, wrap up tomorrow in Lincoln. Hopefully you'll join us beginning at 1 o'clock for all of the action from Hawks Field in Lincoln. And now for Adrian Fiala, Larry Putney, and our entire Nebraska ETV sports production crew, I'm Kevin Kugler. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Central Time for Nebraska and SMS. Until then, good night from Lincoln, Nebraska.